One. Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome to Game Night here at Heavy Cardboard. Here's one I've been looking forward to. Polis, designed by Fran Diaz, published this edition of it anyways, published by Devir Games, and kindly, Devir Games also kindly provided us with a review copy of this, so big thanks to Matt and everybody over at Devir. I'm your host, Edward Euler, happy to be joined by, as himself,
I'm Ken.
All right. So Polis, so originally published as Polis Fight for the Hegemony, right? And I actually think I have all three editions.
Okay.
To be clear, the first edition and what I would consider the second edition, which is really a second printing. So that's the first edition. And I think it was Athelos. I wanted to look this up. The original Asylum Games, sorry. So the very original was Asylum Games. Then Mercury Games picked it up. And I don't know that they changed a whole lot in the game. So those are basically synonymous. This
one's pretty different.
That's it, correct. So that was the first edition. This is the second edition from Devir. There are some significant changes. I'm not going to talk about those now. We will talk about those during the roundtable. At the end, just somebody remind me. I ask, or Ken will remind me, whatever. We'll talk about it. I'm going to say 2 or 3 plays of the original game under my belt, far from, and it had been half a decade or more since I'd last played it. So we came into this relatively new. You hadn't played the first edition.
Never played at all. Yeah.
We've played 3 games of this. This will be game number 4. He's played Sparta every time, and he's 3-0. So down with Sparty. I'm just saying, Sparty's going down.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I will say, I think, like, I've been pretty much playing the same strategy every time, and you've been trying different stuff.
I have, and I've gotten close.
I think you're learning more than I am.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It is going to be a mostly front-end teach, not entirely. Like battles and stuff, we're not going to talk about until those actually happen because it doesn't make sense. So with that said, thank you, everybody, for joining us. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Give us a thumb down below if you are, and... are you ready? Good
I am ready.
Let's get it on. In honor of Mills Lane, who passed away this month. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
As opposed to Marvin Gaye. That'd be a different kind. Moving on. All right, so what is it y'all are looking at? Welcome to, I guess the site of the Peloponnesian War, which is the time period, sort of, that this takes place in. Now, there is a really interesting notes on the current edition in the front of the rule book, which I definitely appreciate. I enjoyed reading about. But what I want to kind of cover here before we talk about is how the game is set up as far as like theme and setting here. So the game's played over a total of 3 rounds in this edition, okay? The first round, or the alpha round, covers a period of expansion for Athenian influence. Basically, this is after the Greeks defeated the Persians. Essentially. So that is that time period there. And then the second one is kind of the beginning of the Peloponnesian War, around 460 BCE is when the second round takes place. And the third round is essentially the Archidamian War, which kind of the second Peloponnesian War, I believe. So that's kind of the time period that we're talking about. Now, we're talking about war, and it's not a war game by any stretch of the imagination, really. This is a Euro dressed up as a Wauro, kind of a war game Euro hybrid, okay? So with that being kind of the background of it, what is it y'all are looking at? So obviously we have Greece and Macedonia and Persia in this area of the Mediterranean, up through here, the map, broken down into different areas, and then there are different polis or poleis, which is plural for polis. So city-states is what these essentially are out here. All of these areas correspond with different trade areas. So the Macedonian area is matching up with this area over here, so on and so forth. In addition to that, there are also cards that represent the various poleis in the game. So, for instance, you'll see that Sparta your enemy. I'm sorry, everyone's enemy. I'm sorry, my good friend Ken is playing Sparta. So those are represented out here by the red pieces. So we have Sparta right here. We have Githian, and I apologize for pronunciations tonight. We're probably going to butcher them, me worse than Ken, but deal with it.
I don't think neither one of us is going to be spot on.
I agree. And Pylos. Those are represented by the 3 cards for the different Polis as well, all right? Yeah, enough on that. The cubes out here will represent one of a number of things. When they are on a land region, those are going to be hoplites or infantry. When they are out here in a sea region, those are going to be...
Galleys, I think?
I think galleys, right?
Yeah.
I keep wanting to call them...
galleys.
Triremes. Wrong time period.
Yeah.
These are galleys, all right? So you'll see that, for instance, Athens, yay, Athens, there are 2 in Cyclades, and there is 1 in Notes? I don't know. Yeah.
Sporides.
All right. So, covered the things here. There are 5 foreign trade areas out here on the map. Each round, there will be certain trades that are available to be made. In the first round, only the top spot in 4 of the trade areas. In the second round, all of those. Finally, Euxenos comes into play. The second one on Persia and the second one in Egypt. All right? All right. So then we have the event deck out here. We have some merchant spaces. So each of us has a merchant to start the game as well. And we also have a proxenos, which think of them as ambassadors that can incite civil war. Okay, there you go. And they both start in Athens and Sparta, respectively. Down here, we have the deck of the different Polis as well, but we'll cover those. Those don't get shuffled as we acquire them. As they come under our quote-unquote partnerships. We have the battle deck right here. We have it's going to cost you more resources, reminder. And then the worst shaped die in the world, which is the 4-sided die. So, hey, a big thanks to our friends over at Feast for Odin for providing us with an 8-sided die so that we can roll it proper. But the 4-sided comes with it, but you all know how that works. All right, we have the trade areas up here. We also have the available projects. There will be 3 in the first round, 4 in the second round, and possibly 5 in the third round. Then we have the round marker, with some reminders up here in the corner. And then we have the trading costs and the market, the market, I guess, costs.
Just the market,
we'll leave it at that.
Good
That's
market,
good.
yeah.
There you go. Then each of us, both Athens, yay, and Sparta, boo, has a resource board. That's all this is a resource tracker. The resources in this game are prestige, iron or metal, we'll call it synonymous, whichever. Wood, grapes, silver, and wheat. You'll see that we all start with 4 of each resource except for 1. Now I say we start with 4 because if you look at this, you'll notice that our cubes are actually on the 3, so it's the one furthest to the right, or when talking about the trade area, the one below. So the first one visible.
Yep.
Okay. So in other words, we have 4 here. Obviously, I have no silver. And then 4, 4, 4, and 3 prestige. And then it's going to be very similar for Sparta, except no wheat, as you can see.
And I have silver instead.
Right. There you go.
Exactly.
All right.
Yep.
And then over here, also on our Polis cards, or Poleis cards, we have Athens, Chalkis, and Chios, which are the 3 that I start with, as well as their population over here in the far left corner. So I have 5, 1, and 2 respectively. The most that it can grow in a given turn is the number that's in the middle, and the one on the right is your max population, so max number of cubes.
Yeah.
Okay. So where cubes are represents what they are. So again, hoplites, galleys, population, or resources. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So that's everything you're looking at except for the battle cards. And we'll talk about those a little bit later when we get into battles. Okay. All right. So how is it you actually play this game? Well, as I mentioned, the game takes place over a maximum of 3 rounds. You have the Alpha and the Omega for the first and the third round, and the second round theoretically is Epsilon. However, they use the letter for
Sigma.
Sigma.
Looks an awful lot like a Sigma.
It is a Sigma, but we're going to call it Epsilon even because it looks like an E in English, Epsilon. But you get the idea. Anyway, so the game takes place.
It looks even more like an E in English. The actual symbol.
The actual
for Epsilon.
fact. Fact. There is that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, game takes place over 3 rounds. Over those rounds, the play is broken up into whoever has the highest amount of prestige will flip over. There will be 1 for each of the 3 turns. So Alpha, Epsilon, and Omega. So rounds 1, 2, and 3, there will be 1 card in each. Flip it over, read it aloud, do what it says. It's going to be universal for both sides. Okay. Then we go into the meat of the game, which are player turns. Player turns, whoever is trailing in prestige, and if tied...
Sparta goes first.
Right. So you'll notice that we are tied at the beginning of the game, and that's why Sparta will take their turns first. But I get to read the event, so there's that.
Yeah.
All right. On your player turn, you take 2 actions, of which there are 11 different options. You may not take the same action twice.
Often that would be really nice.
Oh, it'd be real tasty, but you can't.
But
so you take 2 actions, and they must be different actions of the 11. Once that player is done, we are then going to check for battles starting in the second round. Why? That'll make sense in a little bit. If there are no battles, then player will switch sides. Then that player takes 2 actions. They have to be different. Check for battles. Keep going until one player chooses to pass. Passing consists of taking 0 actions or 1 action. When that player passes, so let's say Ken passes first, I'm going to take this handy dandy little marker, put it over onto my side, and put it up here as a reminder that now I can take an unlimited number of actions that can duplicate themselves. However, the +1 on those on the little marker here represents every single action I take is going to cost me a resource of my choice, and then I take the action paying whatever normal resources that would cost. If I want to take the same action again, I can do so. Have to pay another resource and then pay whatever resources that action will be. Rinse and repeat until the second player chooses to pass. When the second player chooses to pass, then we look for any battles. If there are, resolve them. If there are, and then either move on to the third phase, or if there are no battles, just move on to the third phase. The third phase is end of round. And that's going to run through a host of different things, and we'll talk about those honestly, I think, at the end of the first round. I think that makes sense. There's no reason not to. And then if we make it to the end of the third round and neither of us has won, then we go into end of the game, and then we go through, we do a partial end of round section.
You gotta feed.
Right, yeah, feed and heat, right, exactly. Oh, boy, is it. And then after that, then we'll go into any final scoring. However, I said if, because there are a number of ways that the game can end early, okay? If a player finishes a round being, it's the end of the round, 0 prestige, they lose. If a player is required to lose prestige due to an effect.
That they're at 0.
Right, and they can't, they lose. Or if a player only controls their capital and cannot complete the food step at the end of a round, they lose.
Yeah, because that essentially is also losing prestige. You have to lose prestige.
Yeah, fair point. All right. So,
for what it's worth,
yes,
I think all of our games so far have ended when a player has needed to pay prestige and can't do it, right?
AKA when I've lost. Yes. All right. Fair. Yeah.
But I mean that seems like a really common way.
I would say it's either that or the end of the game. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So as I mentioned, there are 11 actions in this game. Sounds like a lot. It's really not that bad. Okay. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look at the map a little. We'll zoom in mostly on the center of the map area here, and we'll talk about how the various actions works, because I think this is going to be important for context for the playthrough. All right. So the first action, creating hoplites. All right. you are, you know what? Hand me the round marker, if you would. All right. In the top left corner of the board is the round marker. It shows we're in round alpha, round epsilon, or a second round, and then the third one's printed on the board.
Yep.
Okay. The reason I'm showing you all this is because the first round stacking limit is 3, meaning there cannot be more per side of hoplites or galleys in a given area for the representative.
Max of 6 in any land area, max of 6 in any sea.
And with that said, battles happen when there are 8 or more. So therefore, it is impossible to have any battles in the first round because the most that there could be is 6. So that's why we're not going to worry about battles right now. All right. In addition to that, there's some other things that it's talking about. You're going to be getting 3 wheat or silver in trades that can happen as well. And then in the second round, same thing goes, and stacking limit goes up to 4, and stacking limit will go to 5 in the final round as well. Okay? All right. So with that said, talking about this now, creating hoplites. So if you look at Athens, there are 3 already in Athens. There are 3 over in Lacedaemon, okay? In addition to that, we have population. So both new hoplites and new galleys are going to come from your population. So they turn into, from your polis. So when you want to create hoplites, first off, you'll notice, in fact, let's go ahead and look back here at the board. Over here in Ionia, which is where I have a Polis of Chios, there are 2 hoplites here in Ionis. However, I'm allowed stacking limit of 3. So what I could do is I may build a hoplite. I have population to do so. So what are the rules on this? You can't ever completely decimate your population from a card. In other words,
can't be blank. Always has to have at least 1.
Chalkis cannot build any population, whereas Athens can and Chios can build a single one. So to be able to do so, the cost is going to be a population, which is going to go out onto the board, easy enough. And then it's either going to be a iron or a silver. How do you do that? Hey, I'm going to take that action. I'm going to build hoplites. You build in 1 location, and I'm going to pay, let's say, 1 iron, and the population will go out. Boom, done. There you go. I built hoplites. If I had more here, I cannot because stacking limit is 3.
Can't exceed your stacking limit.
I could move these theoretically first and then be able to build more if I had more population, but you get the idea there. That makes sense? That's building hoplites. Creating galleys works the exact same way, okay? Except stacking limits in an area. Let's go ahead and look at the map out here and talk about water movements as well here, okay? So the areas, you'll notice that we actually have our galleys on the actual name of the location. In addition to that, you're going to notice that there are white lines dividing the sea zones out here, okay? So the Ionian Pelagos is basically this area right here, and then you have the Mertun, which is that, Notais, Cyclades, and Thrakikiko. Go with it. All right, there you go. So when you are building galleys on this, they again will come from your population. These, however, will cost wood because galleys wooden, makes sense, or silver. It works the exact same thing. I would take a population, I would pay, and I can build in 1 location. So if I had, let's say it was this, then I could build 2 galleys. It would cost me 1 action, but it would cost me 2 wood or 2 silver or 1 and 1. And then where do they come out? Notice that the arrows, they come from locations that have arrows that represent ports. So to be able to do that, there, I pay that, boom, they would go into that location, boom, done. That's it. Stacking limits apply for land as well. That's building galleys. We're easy enough. The third thing you can create are merchants. Why do I care about merchants? These guys that will always hang out in your center is because you need resources to be able to do things.
Yes, you do.
And to be able to feed your peeps because if you take a look over here, no food.
Peeps get hungry.
Not a lot of food.
Peeps get hungry.
Right.
Very hungry.
So with that said, to trade, to be able to trade, you're going to have to go up into these regions, up into these areas when they're available, and those require merchants. Merchants, when they've been used, that's it for the round. So theoretically,
They just come and live up here, right?
yeah, that one is going to go up there or wherever a maximum of three times in a given game. So if you would like to do more trade, and this just in, the Athenians would love to be able to do so.
The corrupt Athenians who love nothing but money. They like to trade.
Dirty Sparta. To be able to do that, it costs either a wood or a silver, and you can trade an unlimited amount, and they go, right, or you can create an unlimited amount, they go there, okay, to be able to do so. However, they do cost population from one area into there. So in this case, instead of cubes coming out to represent merchants, the cube will actually come from there. That will go back into the supply, and then we have a supply of merchants. It turns into a merchant like that. Okay? Easy enough. Boom, done. Creating merchants. All right. The fourth thing that you can do on a given turn has to do with this area down here, which are the projects. All right? So to be able to build projects, pretty simple. You just say, hey, I'm going to start a project. Why do I care about projects? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, they create prestige. This number, or this symbol, shows prestige. The number to the left is how many prestige you are going to get at the end of a round. So 2, 2, and 4, respectively. Then, if we make it to the end of the game, whoever controls that polis that has this project completed in it is going to get the number of prestige that's in boxes on the right. So 2, 1, and 3, respectively. Okay? Now, to be able to build it, you say, hey, as one of my actions, I'm going to start a project. Okay.
As one of my actions, I'm going to start a project.
Just like that. You will spend the available resources on the left-hand side immediately, so 2 wood or 3 silver, or if you either do not have or choose not to use the basic resource, meaning anything that isn't silver on here, you may fully pay that amount in silver. So let me go and use Koilan here as a better example. Let's say I have no metal, but I have wood and I have plenty of silver. Well, to be able to do so, I can spend 1 silver, 2 wood, and 1 metal. But I don't have the metal. I could pay all that amount, which in this case is only 1, but I could pay that in silver. So that'd be a silver, 2 wood, and a silver. Or I could pay 4 silver. Or I could pay 3 silver and a metal. I cannot pay 2 silver and a wood. It is all or nothing for a given resource. Does that make sense?
That is different than when you're buying hoplites and galleys, where you can mix and match silver and the resource.
Correct. The area, or the polis or poleis here on the right-hand side, shows where they are allowed to be built. Okay, easy enough. So this one, Sparta and Syracuse, we hate this one. We want the Temple to Zeus to burn to the ground because this just in, Sparta realistically is the only one that's going to
Remember what I just said about like only caring about money? No respect for the gods. It's harsh.
Horrible. And these are random at the beginning of the game. When you choose to build it, you say that, you pay the resources immediately, and then you take it, and then when you come over to your actual cards, you'll notice that not all of the various poleis can be, actually host projects.
Only like the big cities, basically.
Right. It has a little box built around, or here on the right side, that shows us. So this matches up. That's Athens. Good to go. When you've done so, you then flip it over to represent that that is under construction. You've paid the resources and all that. At the end of the round, provided you still control, whoever controls this, it's going to flip over, and that player or non-player will then get the amount of prestige. It's possible to lose it. Now, I'm saying this, but Athens can never be lost, and Sparta can never be lost, and nor taken over. So if you build it there,
your hometown is going to be safe.
It's safe. So at the end of the round, it'll flip over. Then you will get the prestige. So you paid the resources for prestige. You happily paid Tuesday, or you paid now for a Burger Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
So it's basically the opposite of wimpy. That makes sense?
Yes.
Good. All right, cool. So that's building. I'll leave it there temporarily. These do not replenish, except at the end of a round.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And any not built are wiped.
They in fact will be wiped. Those will be gone. All right. So, the, I guess, fifth and sixth things that you can do on a turn are moving hoplites and moving galleys.
Yep.
Here's the important thing to know. Stacking limit. You move things one at a time and you move to one destination and one destination only. All right, actually, let's zoom that out. Let's go ahead and say I'm gonna move hoplites. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna move galleys. It's my turn. As an action, I'm going to move galleys. Anytime you move hoplites, move galleys, lay siege, or collect tribute, or, steal, extort, really. Those four things, to do so costs a prestige. You know what you can't do if you have no prestige?
Move.
Right, or any of those four things.
Yeah.
So the first thing, I'm gonna move galleys. I'm gonna pay a prestige, and okay, done. So now, you settle on a destination. I am going to move to Martoon. I am allowed to completely vacate an area, as is Sparta. So, I move one at a time. I say I'm moving here. I can move from anywhere as long as they're a contiguous stretch of either neutral or my control. Well, this being neutral, I control these. So, destination, here we go. I can move one there, and I can move one there, and if I wanted, I can move one there. Boom,
I've actually seen that move before.
You in fact have.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and talk about control of things. This is under nobody's control. Everybody, both sides can move through there freely. Where it is at the beginning of the game, I can't move through there.
Right, so you couldn't
So
get
I
over
could not
here.
get here. Not entirely true,
Sort of.
but not through this path. Let's put it that way. Okay, easy enough? All right, so if I want to go over here through that path, following the lines here, I would have to do, say, that and maybe that. And now, later on, I could say my destination is here. But here's the interesting thing. If I want to move to the Ionian Pelagos, I would have to do it on a separate set of actions because you can't take the same action twice. And secondly, I moved one, so I would pay another prestige. Then, here, I want to walk through this very slowly because I think this is important. To go here, I could either move here, through there, over there. That's legit.
Yep.
The second move is I could move that.
Now you don't have control, so you couldn't move through it anymore.
I can't move through here.
But you may move
But
from
I
it.
may move from here.
Yes.
Because this is the starting area. So this area of C. That's okay. It's okay that I'm outnumbered. I still may do that.
The other thing you can't do at any point during your move is violate stacking limits.
Correct.
So if you had one there, but you had three there.
Yeah, let's say I had three there and one there, and I want to go there. What I cannot do is I cannot go there because at that point it hits 4 on my way there.
Right.
What
If
I
you
could
moved
do
one first.
is go
Exactly.
one there and then there.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I think that makes sense to everybody. I don't want to belabor that. Works the exact same.
I think.
No,
That's
right.
All right.
It works the exact same across land. Okay?
Yes.
All right. The other thing that I want to focus on specifically are the city of Corinth and the city of Thebae, okay, when it comes to moving. You'll notice that Thebae does not have any arrows, first off. It is landlocked. What you cannot do, all movement must be all via land or all via sea, okay? So if I wanted to move these guys into Thebae, I cannot in a single action, okay?
Right.
So let me go ahead and move these guys out of here. Let's say they're hanging out here in or Macedonia, because I know how to pronounce that easily. Okay, so I want to move these guys to Boeotia, okay?
Boeotia.
Boeotia, there we go. To be able to do so, they would come from a port across to a port, or I could move them up here. And I cannot move them into here because there is no port. So the movement would have to stop, say, there. I could move them, well, I can't because stacking limits there. I could move them down to Corinth, right, et cetera, et cetera.
As the board is set up currently, you couldn't get them over here either.
Correct.
But if you had control of those two, you could get them there via the water.
Right.
Yeah.
So, important to note, all land or all sea movement.
Yeah.
In addition, you'll notice that Corinth has arrows pointing to both the Ionian Pelagos, whatever, and Cyclades, these two areas. So what I could do is, let's say I want to do naval movement, right, galleys, and this is my destination. I'm blocked here, but what I can do is through the Strait of Corinth, 1, 2, good. I can move the third over if I want. I could just move one, however that was. But that is important until somebody controls it.
And historically, it's actually not a strait; it's an isthmus.
It is. So you're
but they made like a paved path.
Right, I think so.
You could like easily push the galleys over.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they had. Is it like just straight on? It doesn't matter. I don't want to get lost in that during teach. Okay, but anyway, that's movement. All that makes sense? Cool? All right. Laying siege to a polis is really simple, but that is how we're going to be. That's the combat of the first round and maybe in the second round as well through some of it. To be able to lay siege, let's say on my turn, I choose to move hoplites. Okay? So I choose to move from Athens here, and let's move it back out here all the way up to Macedonia. There. That will have cost me a prestige. Okay, done. So now that I have done that, as my second action, I want to lay siege. I could lay siege to Bidna, or I could lay siege to Pontidea. Okay? Now, if I do so, to be able to do so, you must have as many troops or more as the number that's in the box. That's the population, okay, of the different, of the given polis. Okay? So I could have done it with just moving 2, but I like having 3. Okay. So that's...
There are good reasons to have an extra beyond whatever the numbers are.
The second thing that's going to happen is I'm going to roll a die. There's a 4-sided die. We're not going to roll that, even though the game comes with it. Divide by 2, right? So 1s and 2s are 1s, 3s and 4s are 2s. You get the idea, okay? So we're going to roll. To successfully take over either of those, you must roll that number or higher. So there's a 3/4.
3.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm sorry?
You're looking for at least a 3.
No, at least a 2. Oh, on the die. Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah.
So 1 through 4, you got to roll 2 or higher, as it were. If you do so, congrats, you take it over. If you fail, let's talk about failure first, because you're going to see it a lot from Sparta. So if that happens, if you fail, you're going to lose 1 of the hoplites. These will come back into your, not here, but into your supply. The second thing that's going to happen is you're going to place a disc out there to represent I have failed. That is a +1 disc. Okay? Done. On a subsequent set of rounds, or turns, I say, hey, I still have some prestige. I'm going to lay siege again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can do so.
Why not?
So I have at least that number. Cool. And then I have a +1. So I'm pretty sure that if you roll a 1 and you have a +1, that's a 2 or higher. I don't even have to roll. Boom, I've succeeded. But let's say on the first time, I went ahead, I rolled well, meaning, or didn't get unlucky.
Enough. Yep.
I succeeded. Okay, a few things are going to happen here. First off, yay, they're going to dance about. Look, they're dancing. Okay. Woo-hoo! Second thing that's going to happen is you're going to go ahead and place your marker on whichever one you took over. They are identical functionally.
Yes.
They just have different names. The second thing, or third thing.
Does one of them you can build?
No.
No?
Oh, yeah, I guess maybe you could.
One of them you can build projects and the other one you can't.
All right,
like
fair.
That. Yeah.
No, yeah, you can do
different projects.
Different projects.
Okay.
So Pontidea and Pydna, you choose whichever one you took over. You say beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I took over Pontidea. I take it. Then I add the population. Whatever that number is in top left, hey, I get 2 population. Great, more mouse to feed. And then, hey, I now control it, the end. Easy enough. And whatever that number is, you gain that number in population. Or I'm sorry, in prestige. So, hey, 1, 2. Okay?
Yeah.
However, let's say, for whatever reason, I vacate, I come out, whatever, or better yet, let's say I didn't vacate. Let's say I stayed there and did like so. If that were to happen, it's Sparta's turn. Sparta says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and lay siege on Pydnos. You can do that. Why? Okay. Instead of having at least that number of cubes here, he must have whatever the number is or higher than what I have here.
Right.
Okay? So, to do so, hey, he does. Checks out. Good. So now he can just straight up lay siege. So what does it take? A 2 or higher. Exact same thing. Okay? So let's say he succeeds. Well, that sucks. Now we're going to come over here and look at my board again. Let's say it's a subsequent turn, and maybe I've done something with this population, and that's what it looks like when he takes it over. He's going to get 2 prestige, first off. The second thing is this is going to go away. This goes back into my supply. That's going to match the current population that was there, and then
I get the card.
he gets it. And that obviously will come off.
You
And his will
demonstrate
go
that.
down.
That'll happen quite a bit during the game.
Right. Okay. All right. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So you may see Polis switching sides on occasion.
Yeah.
And since we're at second limit, we can cohabitate.
Yes.
Because there's not enough instigators there.
It's a great Macedonia, great big territory.
Right. There you go.
Camping on different hills, basically.
Right. All right. So that's laying siege. The fourth thing you could do, or technically, I guess this is the 8th thing you could do, is collect tribute or extort, really is what that comes down to. So let's go ahead and get back to that. And let's say I had Pydna, Pydna. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and look at these areas over here. Okay, we don't need to show the bottom ones because honestly, nobody really cares about them. So you'll notice that each area, each city-state, if you will, not just Polis, but each city-state.
Yeah.
So there are 2 cities in Macedonia, right? There's Pontidea and Pydnos. So to be able to extort, collect tribute, it costs the prestige. So you will pay prestige. Then you will take the entire population of that area here, or of hoplites, I should say, not population, but you take all the hoplites that are there. And then you fill them in top to bottom on any of those that you wish. Hey,
Right.
I want 3 grain, so I'll put 2 cubes there.
Pretty much always going to want 3 grain if you can get 3
Right,
grain.
and I'll go ahead and take 1 wine. So there you go. So that shows that I have now I have collected tribute, and to do so, you can only do each city-state once per round.
Yep.
So therefore, I get 3 wheat and 1 wine. So I would move this 3, I would move that 1, and
you
now
have to pay a prestige for it as well.
yeah, I would have.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then now those will come back over there.
Yep.
Okay? Easy enough? It's one thing I want to double
Rather
check.
have the 6 wood, you could have the 6 wood.
Or I could do it like that. Totally. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Pretty straightforward, right? The only the reason these are shown, or these are our capitals, they do not require prestige because, hey, the Athenians and the Spartans are happy to help out the cause.
I mean, it is so later on when I control Chalkis and I do tribute, I would have to pay a prestige.
You would, because nobody likes the
But
Spartans.
you would not.
Right. Fact.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. So that's extorting or collecting tribute, demanding tribute, whatever.
Yeah.
That's 8 of them. 8 of
Yep.
the available actions.
Yep.
Okay. All right. The next one is trading. So trading, pretty simple, relatively speaking. To be able to trade, you must be able to trace a path from basically where your merchant is to the various port that you want to be able to trade with. So if you take a look at the entire map, I cannot trade with Egypt
Currently.
because my merchant stops right there, theoretically. So I can't make it. So, okay. And that said, the only 2 places that the nasty Spartans can trade are Egypt and Illyria. Okay, you'll notice that the naval paths do make it to the various trade areas, even though they're technically on land. Okay? All right. So, with that being said, to be able to trade, you say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and trade. You have to have that path, okay? And then, once you do so, Whatever's showing on the left is what you're going to get. Whatever's showing on the right is what you pay.
Yep.
Okay, easy enough. So here I would pay metal, some number of metal, we'll get to that in a minute, or silver. Wood, silver. In the first round, you can't trade with Euxenos. Persia is, well, metal, iron, wine, or silver. Okay, easy enough. If it's silver, it's straight up 3. However, if you take a look over into this area of the board here, this is the metal track, this is the wood track, this is the wine track. 3, 4, and 5 respectively, wherever that is. So right now, if you want to trade metal for grain, it costs 3, 4 wood, and 5 wine. Okay, pretty straightforward, I think. Once you trade, you physically move your merchant up onto that area and cover that to show that, hey, that's been taken this round. Nobody else
Not
can
only
do
can
that.
you not use the merchant anymore, but that trade spot can't be used again.
By either one of us,
Yeah.
okay? And then what's going to happen is we are going to roll our handy-dandy little double 4-sided die, aka the 8-sided die, there. I'm going to roll it twice. So that is technically a 4, and then that is a 3. Okay? Whichever number is lower, you're then going to move whatever you traded.
So if you traded wine, let's say,
That would move up 3 steps. Okay. If you traded silver instead, whatever it is, you will roll the die 1 time and move it down that number of steps, 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
Okay? So, there you go. They're independent of each other. Okay. That's trading. The last thing we need to talk about now is the Proxenos. Proxenos is our handy-dandy little dude that hangs out in Polis, okay, in specific polises.
Yep.
Specific polis or Polis.
Yep.
All right, so let's do this again. If you can trace a path, or actually even if you can't, okay, let's say you'll notice Abdera and Epidamnos. Those 2 areas, all of these out here, but really it's that and that, can never have hoplites in it, ever. So the only way you can take over those specific Polis is with your Proxenos. Well, I have a clear path to be able to move up there, boom. To move him, you say, I'm going to move him, and you move him, and you put him into the Polis. Boom, done.
Yep.
Okay? Now, there are payments, bribes that might have to be paid. I'll talk about that in a minute. That's one action, is moving your Proxenos. The second thing, and the 11th action that you can do on your turn, is instigate a civil war. All right? To be able to do so, see whatever that number is, double it or triple it. Pay that in silver, and hey, congrats, you now own that Polis, or that Polis. So in this case, if it's neutral, which these are, if it doesn't have your opponent's disc on it, pay double that number. So in this case, pay 2 silver. When you do so, it's just like after you had successfully sieged. I will move up 1 prestige. I will then put a disc here, and I will put the population and grab the card for Abdera and add it onto my area over here. Boom, done, that's it. If, however, say Ken had control of it, it's triple whatever that number is. There's no defending. Straight up, I pay 3. I am not paying 3 to Ken.
That's right.
I'm just, the 3 is going away, and then we get rid of that.
Right. I mean, you're bribing people.
Yeah.
You're not paying me.
Right, I'm bribing the people that are there.
Exactly.
That's it. Those are the 11th actions. But let me go ahead and talk about, let's say I want to come down and bribe the fine folks of Gela. Okay? So, I can do so. These will always stay in a polis. Okay? To be able to do so, I have to have a path. I have a path. Just follow it all the way there. It has a port. I would have to go through either here or there to be able to get there.
You definitely have to go through here. You might also have to go through there.
But I don't. But yeah, fair.
Right.
Now, to be able to get there, boom, I run into bad guys. For every bad guy, even if I control it, let's say it's like that, and I want to come through here. That's okay, I can do it just like as if my guys weren't there. Every cube that you have to, that is present, you got to pay a silver to.
Yep.
Again, not paying that to your opponent, you're bribing the locals.
That's right.
Okay. Now, a couple of important things. Let's say I'm here, and I want to bug out from there, okay? These guys are out in the field. They're not in the Polis. I do not have to pay them, nor do I have to pay them if I'm coming into there like that, because I'm coming in via the port. But let's say it's here, and I want to get into there,
Right.
and I'm coming through land. Well, I got to go through them to get into there. I'm paying 3 silver to do so.
Or if for some reason you wanted to take a land route,
Right, to get
have
there.
to go
Then I
back
would have
out
to.
into Macedonia and then out, right?
Right,
to go
exactly.
over
Right,
here.
yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
If there were something like that, if you're taking a land route and you run into bad guy cubes, you got to pay that amount.
Yeah.
The other thing that I did not talk about is if your Proxenos is in a polis that is taken over by an opponent, they take that Proxenos. You may, at any point, ransom that over. Costs 2 silver. That does go to your
Yes,
opponent.
you are
let's
directly ransoming them.
So let's say, in our example earlier, Ken had taken over Pidnos.
Yep.
And my Proxenos was there. Well, that goes away. He takes that. And then at any point on my turn, I can be like, give me 2. I pay him 2 silver. He takes the silver. And this will always go back into your capital.
I cannot refuse the silver, although in the context of this game, it's hard to imagine ever being like, no, thank you, I will not have 2 silver.
No, I don't want your money.
Don't need the silver.
So
No
there's
thanks.
that.
Yeah.
All right, those are the 11 actions. They're really not that hard. So at the end of the round, once we both pass, we then go into end of round stuff. Do
Yep.
that 3 times.
Yep.
More often than not, if we don't make it to the end of the game, which we haven't, games will end probably at the end of a battle.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Which there won't be any battles at the beginning of the game because, again, stacking limits.
Not in the first round at all. No battles.
Yeah, right. All right, so there's that, there's that, there's that. These guys come back. I think that's set up. I say that's
right.
good enough. Let's go ahead and get to it.
And you want to? We'll go over the battle stuff when we get there.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
And same with
Yeah.
the end of round stuff.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense.
Works for me.
All right, let me bring up the cameras.
Shall I shuffle the?
Oh yeah,
alpha
shuffle the alphas, and then yeah, that'll work. And I did this so that everybody knows that. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about that, but I'm not going to talk about end of round stuff till the end of the round, so I'm not going to bother. Okay. 3rd one down. Let's go and do all of them. That's how we're technically supposed to. So.
What's that?
All 3 of them.
Oh, go ahead and
Yeah. You
choose them now.
Yeah. Oops. 6th one down. And there you go. Choose one.
The bottom one, please.
Okay. There is one no event, and the rest are.
In each, there's one no event in each. Is that,
Yeah,
is that what it is?
yeah. All right. So, good luck. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Let's do this. Place your bets. Oh, I suppose I can't take over Pidnut. Yeah, you can't keep it either.
Yeah, there.
Let me double check. 3. You have 3.
I have 3. You have 3.
I have 5.
Oh, you're
I have
talking about
3
hoplites, yeah.
And 3.
Yep.
And that's right.
That's it.
Cubes, right. Good. Yeah. All right, here we go. Place your bets. Over, under. Oh, I need to reset my board. That should be there.
3. Everything else is 4. Looks right.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, place your bets. Over, under, Glory to Realms. 4.5. Okay. Thank you, Dimitri. He says, money's on Ken. Secretly, I want Edward to win.
Challenge accepted on 4.5. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there.
We might. All right, here we go. Yeah, Ken is 3-0, right? Not a no event.
Fair. Okay.
Earthquake in Sparta.
I don't know what that even means.
It means the ground shook from seismic.
Sparta automatically loses.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Sparta suffers a violent earthquake that causes thousands of deaths. This is a great start. The Messenians, there you go, Messenians, take advantage of the calamity to rebel against them. A fleet of Carthaginian ships comes to Sparta's aid along the coast of Sicily. 1 galley, so Sparta gets 1 galley in the Ionian Pelagos,
Okay.
and I get 1 hoplite in Messenia. Oh. Okay. That's new. We have not encountered this one.
Nope, that's a new one.
Okay. There we go.
Did not like it.
Huh.
Did not like it.
All right, so that's where we start. With that said,
Oh, come on.
why? Why is that so bad? Legitimately, why is that so bad? Like, I don't see
It's
it as
bad.
that big of a deal.
Okay.
No. Why? Why do you? I know. I'm not even messing around. Like, why do you think that's so bad? I mean, if anything, that pisses me off that you got another galley out. Like, I'm not thrilled with that.
Well, I hear ya.
Right? I mean, legitimately, I'm pissed off about that.
Yeah.
This, I don't think changes anything, because I could send my Proxenos down there to take it over.
Sure.
That's not going to do anything, because it's already a 2. It really doesn't help me. It gets me 1 extra bonus hoplite. I think you get the better end of the deal.
Maybe it's not such a bad thing. I don't know. We'll see. I don't like it.
I think 1 Encyclades, or is it backwards? Let me double check. Yep, nope, you're right. Thanks.
I
Right,
thought it was.
is.
I thought it was
there you
swapped.
go. Yep, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Doesn't matter. They're not going to be there at the end of this turn anyway. I don't think.
That's a fair statement. Ken, begin.
Yeah.
You get your 2 actions.
I get my 2 actions. So I was sort of thinking if I wanted to try a different approach, and I think just because I'm curious to see what's going to happen if I do it this way, I will.
That displeases me.
So what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is trade.
Extort.
No, really, really
real trade. Oh, okay.
You know, before I can't do it anymore.
Well, that hurt. That actually made it to where you might even be able to. But yeah, okay. So you're going to take a trade action.
I'm going to take a trade action. So I'm going to move my trader from the lambda symbol
Yes.
over to Egypt.
Okay, so hold on. Walking ourselves through this. So here. There. Going to get 3 wheat. However, it is going to cost you.
Well, I think what I'm actually going to do is spend 4 wood for 3 silver. As I can, right? Can I do that? Or can I only spend silver for grain?
I think you can only spend silver for grain. Oh, now you're going to make me look stuff up at the very beginning.
I am. Or maybe I can only get silver on the...
I think in second round.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
I mean,
okay.
Making me question everything
Well,
I
in
know.
that case, maybe I don't actually... No, it's still probably smart to trade for grain while I can.
Well, give me a second now.
No, I think you're right. I think I...
Yeah, I am right. I am. Yeah,
it has to be a square like this in order for you to be able to trade.
Yeah. Okay, so you were going to spend some number of wood.
4 wood.
And why 4 wood?
Because that's where the trade...
There you go.
That's where the...
Trade marker. Foreign market.
Exchange rate.
That's what I was trying to say earlier, right. So 4 wood, you get 3 grain, boom, done, and we'll just keep it like that.
I gave myself 4 grain, but now it's 3.
It's 3. There you go. That's actually number 1.
I got to roll.
You do. So, hold on. Move it up there in the top left corner for me.
Top left corner.
There you go. That's 4?
Or 4.
Okay, I guess the wood's moving 4. So now it's going to cost 5 wood. Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's action 1. And then action 2 will be a variation of what I've done before. So I'm going to move by spending a
prestige
to
move.
I'm going to move my troops from Lacedaemon to Corinth. All 3.
Technically, it happens 1 at a time, right?
Yep.
And it could go via sea route. No, it cannot go via sea route. It has to go via land. Good, 1 at a time, but it's there you go.
Several different reasons why I want to do that, right? So one is to prevent the use of that Corinthian isthmus for travel for Edward's ships, make it harder for him to get over here into Ionia, right?
And technically, they're in Megaris. They're not in Corinth. They're in the area.
But they do protect. They do protect this port. So, if I control Corinth, which I do currently, you can't use the port.
Can't cross the sea that's controlled by another player. And yes.
Yep. So in order to now get his ships over here, he's going to have to take a couple of different actions, waste some prestige, which is part of the idea.
Okay, that's both your actions.
That is both my actions.
Done. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, there, and then there. Yeah, that extra one really messes up my plans.
Well, I'm glad it messed with you, because it certainly messed with my head, at least.
Well, the Athenian Navy is something to be feared
Yes.
in the world.
Yes, it is.
With good reason. And I am going to stick with my original plan, I think, which
Okay.
is going to be create galleys. To be able to create galleys cost me wood or silver. I have no silver. So Athens is going to go ahead and create 3 galley. Check that. Oh,
Probably not.
Wait, you know what? Do I? Nope, we're going to move first.
Move first. Yep.
Let me get rid of that too.
Yeah.
For right now. Okay.
You don't want to hang that on yourself any earlier than you absolutely have to.
So I'm going to move, and we are going to move to Mertoon.
Yep.
Okay. So 1, 1, 1.
At your stacking limit currently.
Okay. So done. That's my movement.
Yep. And now
Action number 2 is going to be 1, 2, 3. They're going to come from Athens. They come from that port area right there into that area, which is into Cyclades. Boom, done. So now, had you not done that trade, he would not be able to go to Egypt now until he had at least equal. He could still go up to Illyria, but...
That's right.
But what I'm basically trying to do, and this is not a surprise to Ken in any way, is limit his effectivity to get to Sicily. And the reason for that, in all seriousness, is that right there.
Sicily is the breadbasket of all the Greek states during this period.
Right.
And
the downfall of Athens in the Second Peloponnesian War.
A bunch more grain than any other territory.
Yeah. So there's that. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, that's my 2 actions. Obviously, we're not going to check for battles because we know they can't happen in
that's right.
in the first round, so we're just moving on. So, Ken, back to you.
So, mighty Sparta will raise an army
Okay.
by spending 3 metal.
Yep.
And 3 population will come from Sparta into Lacedaemon.
And drown.
Nope.
All right, fine. Okay.
So that's action 1. Do I even try? I feel like the answer is really no.
Just stop trying. What?
Well, so I need to go ahead and move my Prozinos.
Is it Prozinos or Proximus?
Prozinos, I think.
Prozinos?
Yeah.
All right.
And so I could move it into Arcadia, right? Which will prepare me to potentially talk the nice folks of Argos into joining the Spartan side.
Or, you know,
in the future round.
Argos could say glory to Rome to you, right? Or like the movie, Argo.
They could.
Okay, yeah, right.
They could. Or I could move into Corinth, which gives me the opportunity to go straight. I guess Argos would let me do that too. But Argos makes me go through the Myrtoan Pelagos, which is quite expensive.
I mean, it's only 3 silver.
But I think you're going to move into the Ionian Sea next turn anyway.
Am I? Okay.
I guess if you don't, yeah. So I'm going to hold off. And I'm going to use this turn to rely on the goodwill of the noble people of Lacedaemon and we're gonna ask for tribute. It does not cost me.
He's extorting his own people. Let's just be clear here, people.
It's not extortion.
If they give it willingly, all right.
That's
What
right.
are you doing?
3 silver for sure.
I know that.
And I think a medal. Yeah, that's right.
So a medal and 3 silver.
Yep.
Okay, done. All right, that's both your actions.
That is both my actions.
You know what? There is one thing I think is important to talk about. We probably should have talked about for the end of round stuff. The most important thing for the end of the round. Mm-hmm. Count your population that's on your cards. That's how many mouse you have to feed at the end of a round. So currently, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 wheat, or 5 mouse, and I have 4 wheat. Math doesn't add up.
Right.
Okay. So theoretically, if I got rid of 1 in Athens and 1 in Chios, I would only have 3 right there, and I have enough wheat to start. Okay, so that's the main thing at the end of a given round. But there is considerable more to that. But I think what we're going to do is we are going to raise our voices to the wonderful people of Athens and beg. Throw ourselves upon the mercy of the Athenians, the people of Attica, technically, and we're going to trade. So action number 1, okay? So
I mean, Sparta knows all about your demagogues and their false promises.
So I take my 3. That sure looks like 6 silver.
6 big money.
Okay, so 6
Hard
silver.
to argue with 6 money.
Right, yeah, it's done. So, that's better.
Zoop.
Okay, that's better. All right, so that's action number 1. That is tempting. So things that I could do. I could go up to Thraki and trade.
Word.
Because in through the sea. We do have 4 wine. I need 5 wine to be able to trade with the Persians. I do have 4 metal. So I only need 3, so I could trade with the Persians. So like I have options, and same with up there in Thraki.
Yep.
So I could trade.
The Euxinos, the Black Sea, is not available until the 2nd round.
Right. Could not trade with Elite. Well, no, that's not true. I could, but I would have to pay for it. No, actually, I cannot. Never mind. I cannot.
Not currently.
Can't get through there, and you can't go via land unless you control Epidemnos. So, all right. I have yet to ever try to get to Sicily.
Yeah.
To be clear, I have not once tried. The problem is that would cost me 8 silver right now to get Gela. Why? Let me go ahead and walk through it. So, okay, if you take a look at the bottom of the map, to be able to move my Proxenos, apparently, there, I would have to go via water, right? Oh, God, it would cost me more than that. It would cost me 10. So to be able to get to either of these, I would have to go into the Ionian Pelagos. So I would have to come from Athens out into here, which I control, or there's no bad guys, into here, and I would have to pay 2 silver to go there. Then to go into this, I would have to pay 2 more silver, and then he could go into Gela or Syracuse.
That's right.
And then it would cost me 6 or 8, respectively, as a second action to instigate civil war, as I like to think of it. Just ask nicely with money.
Ask with money.
Right. So that would cost me 10 silver.
The old ask with money.
It's just not practical. I just did a huge trade for 6, and I can't get anywhere close to that number again, anywhere else. I mean, I guess technically Megaris, but that's just not going to happen because that would cost 4. And that's impossible to do in the first round.
Well, so
unless,
I was actually the reason I wanted to trade for silver,
right, is you could
because
pay
it would have kicked me up from 7 to 10,
and then you could do it with your Proxinos.
That's right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what I was in my head. There is a card in Alpha that gives Sparta 2 silver.
So okay. That
Right.
would, yeah.
Remember the first time we played, it gives Athens a prestige and Sparta 2 silver.
Yep.
And in that scenario, I can actually take Corinth with my Prosinos in the first round. Mm-hmm. But not to be.
I'm just double checking on the movement for galleys. Right there, over to Ionian.
Yeah. You can definitely move 3 over there. It's going to leave you in sort of a funny position where you got 2 here and 3 there. Right? And you'll have 1 in Cyclades.
Okay, hold on. A single destination sea is chosen for movement. Galleys that move can start their movement in different seas, but they all end up in the same sea. A galley cannot cross a sea that is controlled by another player. It is possible the origin and destination of the movement are controlled by the other player.
Yes.
Only if a player controls the Polis of Corinth,
Oh, so you have to
they may
control
move their galleys directly from those. So neither of us can use Corinth.
Right.
That's what I was checking. So with that said, if I choose to move here,
You have to move one out of Mertoan first.
right, because I can't do
Because otherwise you're violating
right,
stack
exactly.
limits. Yep.
So let's see. If I were to move, no, actually, You know what I'm gonna do as my second action?
I don't.
I am. Oh God, I hate getting down that low in prestige. At least you can't force me a fight.
If only I could create a battle.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. God, I want to block that so bad, but it costs me that prestige.
Do it. Do it. Just do it.
And then I have a 3. So I'm torn between 2 things: moving up into Macedonia, or moving my. I'm gonna stay on target and. I'm gonna. God, I hate that one so much. If I move there, then what do you... Because that cost me the extra. I'm working out how. The fact that I only have 2 prestige right now is what's the difficult part for me.
Starting at 3 prestige, I mean, it feels very tenuous in the first round. But it is what it is.
So the things that cost prestige, moving hoplites, moving galleys, laying siege, which is the big one, as well as extortion or collecting tribute, which also is the big one.
Making friends.
Yeah. So that costs prestige. Except in your capital, which is where we both have done.
Yup.
Oh, boy. I think that is the most important. It's going to cost me 1 to move, either way. So I can't... So if I move hoplite... Oh, I'm sorry, if I move galleys, I'm not going to be able to take over another territory. Because I can't move and lay siege.
But couldn't you do it with your?
I suppose you know what, you're right. I can, and that's free, right?
It's not free. It just doesn't cost prestige.
That's fair. That's what I meant by free.
Yeah.
So you know what? With that said, I am going to pay prestige, and I'm going to move galleys.
Okay. I
am going to move here. So 1 at a time. One there. This is neutral now, so I can
Still
go
can move through.
there.
2.
I can move an unlimited amount to that area.
Well, no, you can move as many as 3.
Well, fair. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the most important.
Cool.
I think. Done.
I believe you're probably right.
Because this is what controls Sicily. He can use his Proxenos to get there.
Right.
But he's going to have to pay me to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really not tenable to do that with that set of moves.
Right.
So what I'm now going to do on my turn is move my Proxenos from Sparta to Argos.
That's action 1.
And then I will foment a civil war in Argos.
Which costs 6.
For $6 big dollars.
Yeah.
And that'll bring out... So he remains...
That is Argos, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
remains on that Polis.
Yep.
I find the card.
And that's both your actions.
Yep. And so, getting Argos. And so, very importantly, I go from 2 to 5 prestige, because that's a 3 prestige, or a 3...
Yep.
3 spot city. I also get 3 population on there.
Because that's what it is on there.
Immediately.
Hey, more mouse to feed.
Yeah, it's always good. Always good. It's what we're looking for.
All right. So, my actions. I need to make sure I don't screw this up like I did last time. Yeah, I can't do that all in one action. That's the tricky part. I think so. Oh, right. Oh, but that gets me the one that I need. Okay, I can do that. Yeah. I'm going to spend my last prestige. If I lose one more prestige, and right, and I would lose the game.
Correct.
So we can't fight, so
yeah.
I'm safe. There's one action.
Mm-hmm.
Action number 2. Oh, I'm doing things so in the wrong order today, I feel like. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. I could do that for 3. Oh, and that buys me some time. Oh, interesting. I hadn't thought of doing that. Let me make sure I'm not shooting myself in the foot. If I do that, I can then do that. There. So I'm doing it that way. Oh, but I don't get to go up there and do that. Okay, so it's either or. So here are the things that I'm chewing over. I could bring my Proxenos over here.
Yes.
To be able to...
On a future turn, take over Samos.
Right, for 6 silver.
Yeah.
Which would give me...
Pretty safe spot for you.
It totally is, right?
Unlike, say, Boyosha, which is not, let's just say, not a safe spot for you.
And none of these are, right? Anything that's on this to where these armies
anything north of Thessalia is now pretty safe.
Yeah, because you can't get through there because that's my guys.
Correct. And you, even though you've only got a single navy here, you still control.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. I could go up to, like, say, Pydna. And that, you know what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, as my second action, I will go there. And he's safe. You can't come and mess with him and steal him.
That's right.
So technically, he's here.
He's safe
done.
for right now.
Yeah, right. Done. Okay.
So, I'm going to take 2 actions on my turn.
I'm glad to hear that, honestly.
One will come here.
Why?
What do you mean, why? And the other will be to go ahead and put out a navy, spending a silver.
Okay.
To put out a navy from Pylos into the Ionian Pelagos.
Okay. So, staging. There's nothing I can do about this.
Right.
He is going to be able to bring his guys over into Sicily. Basically, I'm just costing him resources, and we can't fight, and I can't go 4 to stop him here. So there's that done. That's both your actions.
It's both my actions.
Action number 1, we're going to go ahead and instigate a civil war.
Spend $4.
So spend 4 down to 2, and hey.
Get 2, pretty meaningful.
Yeah, I will actually double check between those based on what's out there. Is it either of them? No. Doesn't matter, literally. So I'll go with Pidna.
Okay.
For no other reason than I know I'm pronouncing that right. Okay, so.
You'll find out it's Pidna and you're going to be like,
right, yeah, I'll be like, damn it. All right, 2 prestige, and there we go. Boom, done. All right. So that's action number 1. And we still have $2 left.
$2 big dollars. You've also like you've preloaded yourself for a
protection. Well, not really protection, but
for a siege there though.
Yeah,
this doesn't go here though, right?
Why was that there? No, I think I might have just. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Yep.
You wish.
Yeah, the timing of the passing is super important too for both of us.
Yeah.
Because you want to do a million things, and just because you can doesn't mean you should, because you're costing your opponent extra actions.
Yes.
Or extra resources.
Or as I call them, wines.
Yeah.
Because I don't. I mean, there's probably a way to play Sparta where you can use wine for stuff, but I haven't figured it out.
And you know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and lay siege to Thessalia.
Okay.
All right. So here's how you lay siege. There, I win
because you don't have to roll the dice.
Right, because it's a guaranteed 1.
It is a prestige neutral action because you get that prestige back.
But it's a extra mouth to feed.
Yes.
And an extra population. Mm-hmm. There.
Bump your prestige back up to 2.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Oops. I don't like the Spartans, but they are an honorable group. So there we go. That's my 2 actions. Done.
Okay. We are first going to draw on the noble and long-standing relationship between the people of Sparta and the people of Pylos. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, here. Okay, my bad. Sorry, yeah.
So I'm going to spend a prestige.
So this is in
Messenia.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you got 3.
Yeah. You can probably place them for me.
There you go.
Looks about right.
Okay, 3 wheat and 1 silver.
Yep. So up to 6 wheat, now with 1 silver. So that's action 1. And for action 2, I will go ahead and move those friends over to Sicilia. Yep.
Did the best I could. So the interesting thing now, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I have 4. I would love to pass. I would love to pass.
4 doesn't seem like a good idea.
It's not, so I'm not going to.
That sounds like a recipe for giving up a bunch of territory.
No, bad news there. I think we go. I think that's what we have to do. We really don't yet. Do I want to take that over right now is the question. Abdera or Epidemos?
Where are we talking here?
Up north.
Oh, here.
Yeah, or Abdera. I don't. Abdera is probably more important to me, although I control it kind of. So I think
it's more important to you, and it's harder for me to access.
Right.
So.
But I don't know if I want the extra population right now, is the thing. But it does allow me to build a galley next round, if I do it. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and trade, like trade. Mm-hmm. So he's going to go up to Thraki.
Yep.
And so I'm going to go ahead and spend
3 metal.
3 metal.
Yep.
for the 3 wheat there.
Yeah.
So
What would you even need metal for?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's done. So now we're at 7. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So we do have 4 wine. You know what 4 wine isn't?
5 wine.
But we will go ahead and spend a prestige. And we will ask the fine folks of Alexander the Great's.
Oh, Macedonia, not
Yeah.
Thessalia. Oh, you gotta go here. You don't have any troops here.
Oh, fact, you're right. Sorry, Thessalia. I apologize.
Get an extra grain there.
That's exactly what we're going to do. So we paid the prestige, so that'll go there.
So
we'll go a wheat, a wine, a wheat, a wine, and I don't know, wood or metal. A moment while I look at some things.
You're gonna need to roll the die to increase the.
I will. I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me get a wood too.
Okay. All right.
So a wheat, a wine, and I said a wood, right?
You did indeed.
Okay. Cool. There. All right. So real quick.
So that's 2 actions.
Yeah. So for that trade, I'm going to roll, and you roll twice for every resource that's there. So like these, I would roll for metal and grape, but as it is, it's only just the one.
So.
Oh. So you should have also moved wine, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
I think it's rolled twice each. So forgot
Check it.
to do
Just
that.
make sure.
Yep. So sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah.
Forgot. For each resource they could have used to trade. Yep.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me back up. Oh, that's the other way. Sorry, that's for wheat. I said.
So is it only the one you actually used if you used
That's, hold on. Well, oh, here. When a trade loses value, right. The player must roll the die twice and move the cube, right. The resource just traded.
Okay.
Just traded.
So it's not both.
No, it's only when it's going the other
direction.
way. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
when you
All
use
good.
silver.
All
So
good.
never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me roll twice. Sorry, got confused. So
Okay,
that's
3.
a 3? Yeah, divide by 2, right?
Or 1.
And 1. And it moves 1. All right. So now, that's it. That's both my actions.
It is indeed.
All right, good.
Okay.
Edward no longer needs wheat. I'm just saying.
I, like you, would be really tempted to pass this turn if I were in better shape on stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take what is, I think we agree, like a super meaningful siege.
Oh boy,
This makes a huge amount of difference for both of us.
It does.
So I get a 50% chance.
Down here, or
Where you want it?
yeah, right there.
Okay. 50% chance of succeeding here.
So he needs to roll a 3 or higher.
Visualizing a 6.
Okay, I'm visualizing a 4 or
6
lower.
is what's going to happen here.
Hot damn.
brutal.
All right, so he failed in his siege.
Yeah.
So he loses
So I
1.
lose a hoplite.
I mean, it was a legitimate 50-50. So now it's 3/4 if he does it this round.
Correct. Which is almost impossible. So.
And the reason he's saying it's nearly impossible, he has to have that many hoplites, which
Don't have
means
that
he
many
has
hoplites.
to get another hoplite over here.
Yep.
And moving costs prestige. He has 1 prestige to lay siege, and he needs 1 to be able to
Exactly.
take it over. So unless he were to use his Proxenos,
Yeah.
he needs to get silver to be able to do that. And yeah.
It is more than worth it if I could somehow do it,
Right.
but I don't see a way that I can.
Okay.
With my second action, I'm going to spend 2 metal to build 2 hoplites in Arcadia.
Okay, done.
And that's 2 actions for me.
Okay. Still has not passed. That's important for me. Okay. I had plans and now I can't remember what the hell they were. Sorry. Right. Oh, that was it. That's exactly what that was. I needed 5 and I have it. Okay. Action number 1 is we are going to create a merchant. A merchant requires either wood or silver. And that's going to be a silver, I think. Yes, it is. So that is a merchant. That merchant will come from Chios. And we'll go there. That's action number 1. Action number 2 is to trade with the fine Persian Empire.
Yep.
So he will go over there. I am going to pay the 5 wine that I have there to get 3 wheat. 1, 2, 3. Putting me at 11.
Looks about right.
And now I need to roll for for wine to increase.
Yes. So twice.
Okay, that was graceful. I don't need to roll again. It's not going to go lower than 1.
That's right.
So it
we'll
goes
move
there.
Up 1.
There you go. Boom, done. That's both my actions.
2 actions.
Max. Right. Have a good one, BM Riggs. Thanks for hanging out.
So I have to decide here whether it's worth it for me to spend my final prestige to collect tribute in Arcadia. If I were to do that, I could get an extra grain and a silver, or an extra grain and a wood.
Or 3 silver. I don't know where you're at on things, because you have enough wheat to feed your peeps right now, right? So
I do. I have enough wheat to feed my peeps and add 2.
Add population as well, right? Yeah.
But I'm very close to the bottom in prestige, which is bad.
Big fan.
Yeah, I think I will. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll collect tribute in Arcadia.
Okay.
And I will collect.
Arcadia, and you have 2 hoplites there. So
I do indeed.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah,
so.
I think I am going.
Oops, I did that wrong. That is the wrong area. There we go.
Right, it's a question of more flexibility with the Prosinos next turn.
Which is silver.
Yep.
3 silver.
Versus more ability to grow
Population, which means more troops.
Which is more troops.
Galleys, right, yeah.
Yep.
Tough to say, like legitimately tough decision.
It is not an easy call.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Let's do 1 of each.
Okay, so that is going there and there. He already got a silver, so boom, done. Those will hop on back.
Yep. And then with my second action, I'll pass.
Okay, so now that he has passed, anything I choose to do costs an extra resource. All right. So now it becomes a cost-benefit analysis, right? Here. Okay, so what was it I wanted to do? I wanted to be able to build this. That was why I got the things that I did. And is it worth an extra resource for 2 prestige?
Yes.
Well, it's a wheat, though, is the problem.
So? You have way more wheat than you need.
But I like building population.
But you already have extra population.
Yeah, but I would like more. But the 2 prestige, I think, is worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
I feel like you're patronizing me.
I'm not. It's definitely worth it.
I think I'll go ahead. Yeah, I will develop a project first. Okay, so it's going to be that project there. It can be built in Athens, so good to go there. So I need a metal, 2 wood, and a silver, which happens to be 2 wood, a metal, and a silver. We got it. So that will go there. And it cost me a resource for that. It's action number 1. Do I want to do anything else? I don't think it makes sense. No, I'm done. That's it. I don't know if that was worth it, but we'll find out. All right, so we reached the end of the round. There are no battles, obviously, right? Because first round again. All right, so there are 7 steps of the end of round stuff. So first thing, projects complete. So obviously none. I have 1.
Yep.
That flips over, and I immediately score whatever that is, which is 2 prestige. So 1, 2, done. Okay. The second thing is feed your peeps. So pretty simple. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from 10. I have 3 left over.
I also have 3 left over.
Okay, we've fed our peeps. I just want to cover what happens if you can't feed your peeps. If you don't have enough, you must feed all your wheat if you don't have enough, right?
That's right.
You have to make up the difference in prestige or by giving up Polis from the league back to neutral. So you would, right? Or you pay prestige.
And giving up Polis, you're just trading the population back, basically.
Yeah.
Right, so if you traded Pidna out, you would have to feed 5 instead of 7.
Right, yeah. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, and it's important to point out, whoever passed first does these things first.
Yep.
That's going to come into play here momentarily.
Not really.
Well,
I guess it kind of might, but
right.
I'm not going to end the round with 0 prestige, so.
Fair. Third step is growth.
Yep.
Any food you have left over, you can spend it to grow your population. The max, and I'll go ahead and show mine for this, the max that you can increase is that number. Okay? And the next step after growth comes megalopolis.
Yep.
What that means is if the number of cubes here is higher than that number,
right,
you gain a prestige. Okay? So, Ken, in your almighty wisdom, you may, if you choose, grow.
Absolutely going to grow.
Okay.
Have to.
Or you lose the game. Fact.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend all 3.
Okay.
So 1 is going to go into Githian, and that's really important because there's a megalopolis bet that's going to get me a prestige later on.
Yes.
The question is where I should put these other ones. I could hear arguments for Argos, because that would get me up to a 3rd hoplite there. But what I'm really going to do is put them both in Sparta.
Okay.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. And for me, I like prestige. I've learned, especially starting in the second round, is going to be important for me. So I could get 3 prestige out of this. I just don't know if I should. So I know I'm putting 1 in Pidna.
Okay.
For sure.
So that'll get you a prestige.
Right, in the next step, but I'm going to go ahead and do it now.
In that case, I'll go ahead and add mine
because
as well.
same, for the reasons we just elaborated on. Okay.
Yep.
Doc says, I like to think that Ken is patronizing Edward, but it's still the right choice. Chalkis. You know what? I will do 1 there.
Okay.
And that's going to be another prestige.
All right. You got 1 left.
So
Wait,
here.
You put that one in.
Here.
You put that one in Thessaly.
I did.
Did you really want to put it in Chalkis?
No.
Okay.
Because the one in Thessaly, I guess it's not really protected, is it? Well, neither of them are.
No.
Because from sieges. And that's a 1, they're both 1s.
Yeah.
No, we will put it in Chalkis to be safe. What do I do with the other one? So I cannot put them in either of those two areas because I've already done that, right? Because max of 1.
Mm-hmm.
Chios is interesting because, you know what? Done, but it won't give me a point because now we're just there. All right, so we've already done step 4, which is Megalopolis. The 5th step is adjustment of goods. What that means is there are 2 degradable resources, all right? And those are, oh, sorry, I used all that.
Yeah, you
There
did.
you go. Wheat and grapes lose half, rounded down.
Rounded up.
I'm sorry, rounded up.
So I went from 4 to 2 wine.
There you go. It turned into vinegar. All right, so the next step, and this is the one that theoretically does matter for the order in which you do this.
Right.
Is you may spend 1 prestige for 1 silver or 2 prestige for 3 silver. Obviously, Ken is not going to do that because if he does, he loses the game.
Correct.
Right? Whereas I can. And I don't know if I should. I mean, silver, money makes the world go round, but that, I am so nervous. I would love to be able to gain 3 silver for 2 prestige, but that is, I've learned that that is problematic when it comes to battles. Do I do? No, you know what? I'm not. I'm just not gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not. All right, the last step, step 7, is a bigger step in that it has a lot of sub-steps, which is preparing for the next round. So here we go. Update the round marker. So in other words, the that flips over.
Stacking limits are now 4.
There we go. The second step is remove all discs from tribute areas and siege discs. So the siege disc, sorry, that one which is here, from that actually, the +1 goes away, as do all of these. Shouldn't have had that there. Sorry, my bad. Remove the top black cube from each foreign market. So there, and that one.
All right.
These guys will both come back. There. Remove projects from the main board. So these, dead. And now, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's the second round, and if you notice, down here in the projects area, there are 3 in the first round, 4 in the second round, 5 in the third round. However, you deal out 5, turn them up, and whoever's trailing in prestige,
that's me,
chooses 1 to throw away. And the same thing will happen in the third round. Whoever's trailing will, the last 6, one of them will get thrown away. As well as the ones from the remaining round.
I need to take a closer look. I can't see what they say. Oh, thank you. Okay, so Dionysus is good for me.
I would argue this is as well. I mean, Pydna is mine, but you have Argos, and if you're going for Corinth, oh no, that's Corinth. So that's, I would argue, is probably good for you as well.
Sure.
Same argument could be made for Isthmia, so whichever. Now, if between them, probably keep this one and throw that one away because you're not going to get as much wine and you already have the 2 wine. Just thinking out loud here. That one probably not great, although, because Samos, although it is Sparta, but it's 4 wine. It's 3 points, but I don't know, but it's no endgame points. And then Socrates is Athens and Syracuse. Now, one thing I do want to point out here is Athens has built one already, as you can see.
Keep building them.
1 per round. Okay, as long as it matches the area. So which of those would you like to throw away, sir?
Socrates.
Okay. Bye, Socrates. Okay. So those are the 4 that are in. Okay. And done. So now I am leading. I get to read. Here we
go. You do indeed.
Rivals.
Okay.
Argos and Corinth. Polis, geographically located between Athens and Sparta. are even more wary of the two superpowers and each seek to secure a better position in their respective leagues. So Sparta instigate a civil war in Corinthos with the Spartan Proxenos by paying -3 silver.
So paying
Less 3 silver less, so that'd be 5 silver. And I can do the same in Argos with the Athenian paying 2 less silver.
Okay.
Now, this is the first time we've encountered any of these.
Yeah.
Do these happen in this moment, or is it throughout the round? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I will have to look.
I think it must be throughout the round, but maybe
I would
not.
think so. I would think so, but looking for, yeah. All the other events have been pretty straightforward. Here we go. Throughout the entire round.
Okay. Cool.
In others, effect when the round ends. Those have a neutral background, but these are for the entire round. So,
Okay.
So, with that said, we'll keep this up here as a reminder.
That's
so,
right.
5 for you, and that is
7.
4 for me.
7 for you.
Oh, right, because you own it. It's triple. Good call. Thank you, Shrey. I'm glad somebody got that, the Socrates reference. All right. You have less. You may
to say the
begin.
least, I have less.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
I have less.
Okay.
The event I was really hoping for didn't come up.
Which was what? Legit, I don't know what.
Battles start with 7 instead of 8.
Oh, God, yeah, that was a mistake. I ran into things to where, yeah, battles start with 7. That sucks so bad.
Does not suck if you're Sparta.
Yeah, because it's easier to instigate.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm in a very, very tricky position. And so,
So, no, keep thinking. I'm more or less thinking for everybody out there.
It's all good.
We started with 3 prestige and 4 resources. I would just like to, just saying where we started last round
totally
versus,
bottomed out.
yeah,
Totally bottomed.
which is, I mean, yeah.
Yep. So, I think I'm going to have to spend my very last prestige to move all these guys down here.
I got you. Yep. Okay.
So now there are 4 in Lacedaemon.
Which that is stacking limit up there. Okay. So good.
And now I will
Extort.
I will call tribute from the loyal Spartans. And
yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't really know what I'm doing either. I can't see why the wine would make sense.
Wine,
Well, I currently have 2. I could get 3 more.
which puts you at 5, and I'm pretty sure
5
it's
is
6.
not 6.
Yeah. So
That's right.
yeah.
So 3 silver for sure,
Okay.
and we're going to go with 3 metal. It turns out that Spartans really dig metal.
Weird. Who knew? All right. And that is 1 action.
No, that's 2 actions.
Oh, you moved and then did that. Yeah, you're right.
Move and tribute.
Okay.
Yep.
Whew. All right. Oh. I think I'm okay with that. I think that's got to be it. I think so. Okay, but I don't have resources. There's that. Okay. Oh, that feels so gross, though.
Well, it feels gross.
Spending, well, you know what? This is why I had extra prestige.
You got all the prestige in the world, friend.
Right? So I'm going to quote unquote waste one.
Love it. Wasting is, I'm for you wasting things. pro.
And we are going, here, let me move these back down where they belong, down here. And I'm going to,
Is that where they belong?
well.
Oh,
whatever.
I see. Yeah, fair.
I'm going to actually move
1.
the
Okay.
end. That's the end of action number 1.
Love it. Can you move 1 cube around again for action number 2?
You're right. Tempting, but no. The reason I did that, so thought process here. Locks down Sicily to where you can't get any troops here.
Right.
Unless you wish
willing
to move one or build a galley.
Unless I'm willing to battle.
Which means at the end of your turn, there will be 8 there, and 8 means a battle. Just general rule, sea battles, naval battles, advantage Athens. Land battles, advantage Sparta.
Yep.
Okay. So if we're going to fight here. So basically what I'm trying to tell y'all is I want to try and keep my numbers at 3.
Yes.
And avoid fights on land.
Correct.
And force a fight in the naval area if you want to come over and take over Gela, which you need desperately. You need the food. So that's my thought process, at least. Okay. So that's action number 1.
Yep.
Action number 2. Hell if I know. I think so. Is that too short-sighted? I don't know.
I'm hoping yes.
I need resources, obviously. All right, action number 2 is demand tribute there in Thessalia. Thessalia.
1-1-1?
No, I think I'm going 6 wood. So
Okay.
all 3 of mine will go there, and that'll be 6 wood.
I need a blue disc, please.
Yep.
Looks like you already paid your
I
prestige.
did.
Okay.
I did. So 6 wood, boom.
So
Okay.
my heart was in my throat because if you had done this, I would have had to pass.
What? Wait, seriously? Did I miss that?
Because I can't pay the money to get here and still do the thing that I'm going to do.
Damn it.
So
Nice.
I'm going to move here.
All right,
Okay.
action number 1
5 instead of 8
per this.
for that
I
card
screwed that up.
to
That is a big get
take
for
over
you.
Corinth.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a big get. Ah, damn it, I missed it.
So that's 4 prestige. Thank God. I was really in jail. And the Polis card for Corinth, please.
Oh, well done.
And so that is four
Should've
mouths
seen
to
that.
feed.
Yeah.
Woo!
That would have been gross had you. The game would have ended. The
Pretty
game
much.
was over. If
I think it was
moved one
over.
there,
I think it was
You wouldn't
basically
have been
over.
able to feed, and you. Yeah, the game was over.
Yeah.
I would have passed right away, and then you lose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it!
So I would have been able
Glory to Rome
I
to
would have been
me.
able to trade for 3 grain. But then I would have had like nothing basically.
Yeah. I didn't see it. Good call.
Oh, I was like don't look at chat, don't let him see it. Don't do
Find a spot on the board and stare at it. Don't move.
Pretty
right?
much where I
Okay.
was. That's where I was. Yep.
Ah, damn it. Oh well. We're not experts.
No, we're not.
I think I messed that up. Okay. One other thing. Damn it. Really angry at me. I wish you wouldn't have told me. But no, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
I was just bullets. Just sweating bullets.
Single.
If you feel like moving a 4th troop over here anywhere, I'm just gonna give it a blanket endorsement.
Okay, noted. Unlikely to happen. Not in my plans. Let's
Okay.
put it that way.
All right, fair enough. Just thinking out loud, as they say.
So, honestly, one of the things I was thinking about, and I'm probably not going to do this, but just thinking out loud. If I move 2 troops in Magaris, you're stuck in the southern part of the islands there,
Well, sorta.
right? I mean, I guess you could go via sea. Currently. So there's that.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem is that costs 5. And you know what? Okay. Action number 1. Build a ship in Cyclades.
Yep.
And I think action number 2.
Oh yeah, that's pretty wise.
Yeah.
You would not want me to
No.
just randomly come up here and take that over.
Yeah, I just want to lock it down at least to where it's going to cost you a prestige in an action, which let's just, yeah.
You just spent a wood for that, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I'm really. I don't know how much offense and defense I should be looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a tricky round because there's really not a lot of reason other than getting to Sicily why I would possibly give battle on the water
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's not a lot of reason why you would give battle on land.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think while I can, just to make sure, I think, maybe this is dumb. I don't know. Again, not experts. I'm going to trade.
Yeah.
It's going to be wood. So it's going to be the 5 wood,
For 1 wheat.
3 wheat. And I
Okay.
will roll for.
So you had 1 already.
Habit.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It is. 2.
2.
And,
Two.
and 2, yeah. So
Yeah,
it moves
so
up 2.
Good Lord.
All right. You're
I'm glad I don't trade. Ever. For any reason.
done.
Yeah. Boy, trading seems like something that would be cool if I could do it, but I can't do it really.
I'm trying to limit your, right? So that's, and I don't know if 100% that's what Athens, I'm trying to starve you.
Yeah,
I'm
for
trying
sure.
to, yeah, that's my.
As you should, I think.
I think you start with no wheat.
Right.
So obviously being able to, that, you got to feed them. Obviously I got to feed mine, but
Yeah.
keeping you out of here as long as I can or forcing you into
Yeah.
a bad position, because when battles happen, loser loses prestige, winner gains prestige as a general rule.
Right.
So that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't actually always lose prestige,
Right, but you will lose troops or
but you'll
galleys,
often lose
right.
troops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what am I doing and why? Well, one thing I'm definitely doing is building 3 hoplites in Megaris.
Okay.
And then I think I have to do a tribute action there.
Okay.
So that takes me down to 3.
Oops. So that is in Megara, so there.
Have to do wheat. Just don't really have a choice.
So there's 3 wheat, and I assume 3 silver, but maybe not.
I don't know what I would use the wood for.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 silver.
Okay. It's both your actions.
It is indeed.
Oh God, I think I may have messed some things up. I think I have to do that. Well, I guess, actually, is it worth giving that up? I think it is, actually. Oh, that doesn't help me. Okay. So maybe I can't. Oh, that's right. I cannot create any ships or any hoplites at this point.
It's kind of an annoying spot.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that's gross, but I'm gonna, oh. I can go down to 2, but you better be real careful at that point. And then,
The old move and tribute.
yeah, oh no. Just straight up tribute.
Oh, I see. From where? Ionia? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I sacrifice a wheat there. I think it's worth it. So I will go there. And that's going to be 3 metal.
3
silver.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
Which is essentially metal.
Yeah. It's a kind of metal.
Yeah. Well,
It's a special kind of metal.
yeah. All right. And then that's one action.
Yep.
Second action is... two. There.
Makes sense.
Done.
I am still at a pretty decided material disadvantage. Or I don't know if I'm at a disadvantage. I'm just in a bad spot in terms of material.
God, I wanted to do that in a different order.
So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to move. It only gives you 1, though. So I would pay 2 for 1. That's not worth it. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
And your insurance.
Yeah, so that's my first move.
Yep.
And then my second move will be to lay siege here.
Yep. So you need to roll a 3 or higher.
Yep.
And
so I'm
I mean,
spending a prestige.
okay. I mean, you should win this one, just if math.
Yeah, I'm gonna
equals out.
set this down. 7. It's gonna be a 7.
Okay.
Okay.
Overshot a little.
Yeah.
Okay. Congrats.
Thanks.
3 prestige and the bay.
Yep.
Need to look something up because this is new. So you're done, right?
I'm done with that action, correct.
You have... That was a move. And lay siege, so you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Okay. So I think I'm willing to do that. God, I want that fourth one, though. Is it worth...
Oop. There's
Oh,
also
yeah, 3. Yeah, good call.
that. Kind of
That was a lot of mouse.
unsightly.
Huh. Oh, this is hard. I'm sorry. This is tricky. I can't do that. So stop thinking of that. Can't get there. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I will do my best.
As it is currently on the board, you cannot get to Macedonia.
Not next turn.
That's all I'm right. I'm thinking about this correctly, right? All right. So I will go 2, 3.
Okay.
There.
And that's, just to be clear, that's an overwater move.
Yeah, it is, because I'm blocked out from here,
You're
but
leaving the port in Pydna, sailing through the Cyclades,
right.
down to Athens. Yep. Or Chalkis, doesn't matter. They both have ports on that body of water. So.
And now tribute. So it's going to be 6 silver. Puts me at 7.
Okay.
And that will go. And that doesn't cost because that's home.
Yep.
Done. Go.
Yeah. I wanted to
I know. Had you...
put the fear of it in you.
It worked. More mouths to feed. People are the worst. Seriously, Shrey, right? I'm not saying we're playing well, but...
No.
Yeah.
I think... yes, decidedly not. I'm going to take a tribute action in Boeotia.
Okay.
So we're going to do much wine as we can and 1 grain.
Okay. And a disc.
Yep. And then...
That's the key.
we'll spend... Oh, yeah, so that was 6 wine. So
Yep.
now I'm up to 8. And we'll spend 4 wine on Demeter here, which is going to go in Sparta.
Okay.
That's my 2 actions.
And how many... That's 4... How many points? Or how many prestige?
4 prestige.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Pretty simple, this action. It's going to cost me 4 silver. Down to 3. Action 1, boom. Action 2, take over Ponte.
That is a pretty simple action. Yep.
Okay. Because that.
And how much does it cost?
I already paid the 4
Oh, you
silver.
paid
That
it.
was the
Okay.
4 silver,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, getting yourself out of prestige jail is
Key.
it's a constant struggle.
Boy, is it.
Okay. Actions this time.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend 2 metal.
Or silver in this case. Right.
Yeah, silver / metal to build some hoplites down in Lacedaemon. I could build ships. That is interesting. Nah. We don't believe in such things. And then with my other action, I will build
Oh, interesting.
the Nemea in Corinth.
Interesting.
Or maybe in Argos? No, let's do Corinth.
Flip it over. Oh, yeah, after you pay. You're fair. And that's how many, 4 points as well?
Yeah.
4 prestige, sorry.
Yep.
Same. Okay, that's both actions.
Correct.
I'll say this again. You still can't reach Macedonia in your next action, right?
Still
Correct.
can't reach it.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Okay, action 1 and action 2.
Okay.
These guys are going to come up Macedonia. We're going to party by extorting them.
Okay. That's a different definition of party than I know. But, you guys do you.
So it's going to be 3 wheat and 3 wine.
Okay.
3 wheat and 3 wine. 3 wheat puts me at 6. There we go.
Got it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just checking. It's both my actions, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to spend my last very valuable silver to build this friend down here in Lacedaemon.
Yep. By the way, the reason I was asking whether or not he could get to Macedonia, because I'm pretty sure 4 + 4 is 8.
Yeah.
And I'm too low on prestige to handle a battle that isn't on land. That's the key. Or that isn't at sea.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now I'm going to take an action that requires prestige. So I'm going to tick down by 1. I'm going to head on down to Messenia. It's not exactly Sicily. They do make
I've
wheat
done
there.
my job. I mean,
Yeah.
now it's a question of what do we do at this point?
Right.
Oh, that's tempting. That might work. I don't want that. What I actually want is that. Is it? What one? Huh. I have 3. I would like the 4th, but I don't think I need it. So that's action 1. What the hell is action 2? Because at that point, you still can't do anything with that. Action number 1 is going to be to trade.
Okay, makes good sense.
Where I would love to trade up in Euxenos with the to get the 4 wheat.
Yeah.
Alas, I cannot.
Because?
I only have 3 silver.
Ah.
So action number 1 is I'll go ahead and go to Illyria. Because
go to Illyria from. Oh, sure. That makes good sense.
And I'm going to trade the 3 silver. No, 3 silver for 3 wheat.
Okay. And so that means you're going to roll the dice
3.
once.
For wood to drop down. Right. And that's a 2, so it drops 2 spots. There we go. That's action 1.
Yep.
I'm going to try something. Might be a massive mistake.
Love to hear it.
I'm done.
Okay. Well, this will just work.
Oh, will it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first action I'm going to take is to be...
So you paid your wine.
Paid my wine.
Okay.
And then to collect tribute from Pylos down there.
Okay.
So that is... We're going to do 3 of these and 3 of these.
Okay.
Right? And then...
And throw a marker up here.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We're about to end the round, but
Fair.
I hear you. And then I'm going to spend one of these down.
Okay. So
And then spend 2 more to put out
fair.
2 troops.
And that gets you out of jail.
Gets me out of jail, which is what I needed.
And you're passing at this point?
I am passing at this point.
Okay. So no battles happen while you took your actions, right? Because you don't evaluate it after 2 actions once a player has passed.
Correct.
So that's that. So we go into the end of round stuff. First thing, projects. This is where it hurts. Go ahead. I ran a risk by
3.
doing that. And these will go away.
And 4, so I'm up to 8 total prestige.
Ouch.
And these can just sort of slide on down.
Well, no, I mean, they hang out on the card.
Yeah. I can't. Did I decide to build it in Argos, or did I decide to build it in Corinth?
You said Corinth.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Because it was a risk to do it in Argos.
It's harder to take over in Corinth than it is in Argos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So.
You want to be able to see what can be built. That's
Yeah.
fine. All right, cool. So that's projects. Pay your peeps. Done. Okay. You know what we're not going to do? Grow. You know what we're not going to do? Megalopolis. Adjustment of goods.
You actually do have a megalopolis.
Oh, hell I do.
Congratulations to you.
Thanks, Chalkus. Yeah, that's it. Good call. I missed that. All right. I lose a wine. And Foros, would you like to spend any prestige? I would technically go first. I elect not to. Prestige for silver.
I'm going to say no.
All right, update the round marker. That comes off. Stacking limit's now 5.
Stacking limit is now 5.
All right, remove these.
Oh, thanks. I am deep in thought.
Yeah, I know. Black cubes come off. Merchants come home.
Did you didn't spend any for Foros?
I elected not to. I know it's shocking, but yeah.
Okay.
Project's already wiped.
Yep.
I'm trailing, so this goes away.
These projects don't actually do anything now. Like conquering Corinth actually wouldn't help
Right, because there's no end game
points on it. But
okay.
looks like I'm reading this time, huh?
You're reading, but I'm doing
You do
everything
that
else.
first.
Right, and I get to go first. So, all right. What do y'all think so far? By the way, if you're enjoying it, give it a thumb. Subscribe if you don't, please. Okay. Let's see. Which one do we want to get rid of? Phidias is likely to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because to be able to get 4 silver is going to be really hard for me. So yeah, we'll just get rid of that.
Okay.
Done. All right. Read them.
I was really hoping for no event.
I was not, actually. All right, what do we got?
Alcibiades.
Okay.
Alcibiades was the greatest military genius of the second half of the 5th century BCE, but was also known for his lack of scruples. Typical Athenian. He switched sides in mid-conflict several times.
3, I think. I think it was 3 times.
Serving Athens as well as Sparta and Persia. Man, this guy.
Don't they call those mercenaries, like, you know?
The Athenian player takes this card.
Oh, okay.
Sounding kind of like the China card in Twilight Struggle.
Okay.
Before the first combat round of any battle,
Okay.
the player holding this card can use it to draw 5 battle cards each round
Oh, draw 5 each round
Each round,
of battle. Okay.
regardless of how many troops they have in the battle.
Draw 5 cards
That's what it
every
says.
round. Holy.
Once the battle is over,
It switches sides.
the card is passed to the player's opponent.
Okay.
If the Athenian player uses it a second time, the card is removed from play.
Okay.
So you get 2 cracks at it, I get 1 crack at it.
Seems good.
Seems like BS, but whatever.
We're just gonna. I'm not gonna worry because I don't think I'm gonna
Not
get
getting
that
over there.
high.
Not getting
So I'm
over
gonna
there
just hold
today.
on to that.
Fair
That's,
enough.
you know what? Actually, put it right there. So as a reminder, because that's on the battle cards.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. That's actually a really cool event. We haven't seen that one
We
yet.
sure have not.
All right. So I'm up first.
Rock'em sock'em.
Yep. Okay. So now's probably a good time to talk about endgame points. Endgame points are prestige plus any squares on projects in regions you own. Whoever
Yeah.
has the most points wins.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the ticket.
I am shocked that you were holding off on that.
What do you mean holding off?
Like you haven't
How was I going to do it?
move a.
I just
You
scratched
can
and
now.
I just
I know.
scratched
I'm
and
surprised.
clawed
You did an
to
amazing
figure
job.
out how to get the grain without
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I even spent a grain on a damn project this past time.
You in fact did.
Speaking of projects, can you show me what those projects are? Because I
Oh,
can't-
yeah, sure.
I
Yeah.
can't. Nope. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, one at least.
Rounding up. So I had 3. Yeah, so I have 2 left. Yeah, that
wine?
was right for
Yeah,
the
it's
wine.
correct.
Yeah, I did that. It's
Yep.
rounding up. Yeah.
Yep.
Eric, there you go. Oh, by the way, good night, Alyssa. I'm sure you've already kicked out for the night, but. Oh, boy. Okay.
Every one of those is
What?
every one of those prestige is very precious for you right now.
It is. Well,
I've-
not so much as long as I keep it under 4. If I keep it at 3, which Macedonia would like to stand up and be recognized.
Correct. Well, no, your number now is 2
How so?
because the stacking limit's 5.
Fair point. Ooh, that's a good point. All right, you know what? It still works out for what I'm about to do to start.
Great.
All right. Oop. Macedonia.
Tribute situation.
Yep.
Okay.
3 grain
Yep.
and 3 vino.
Sounds like a good plan.
So to 5 and 3. That's action 1. And action number 2. Ooh, be careful there. Hold on. Hold on. Because that doesn't give me enough to trade. So there's that. Okay, so I had 4, which that would be 10 wood.
What's happening?
I need to make sure that because once you don't have any prestige, you better either have silver. Yeah, you better have silver if you don't have prestige, and that would drop me down to 0. So let me roll that back a minute.
Surely. So you're taking another. You're taking another. You're not taking it.
So hold on. Let me rethink this.
All right. Okay. This
Sorry.
is only a medium-sized asterisk.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay. So that would still put me at 1. I actually could do that. So I'd be 5 and 5. But if I lose prestige, the game's over. Again, I've gotten myself in this problem. It's the definition of insanity. Here's my problem, right? I would like to maximize my hoplites for trade, right? But moving as well as demanding tribute costs
Yeah.
prestige. Unless it's home in Athens.
Yeah.
But to be able to get to Athens, I would have to move. And then if I move and then demand and tribute, I'm going to have a group of 4, which means then we're going to be able to fight, which then if I lose, I'm then losing.
You have your magic card.
It doesn't help me because I'm going to draw 5 anyways. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to have 5 cards.
Ah.
You're going to have 5 cards either way.
It would still help you. Read it again.
How so? How so? I take the card before the first combat round of any. The player draws 5 cards each round.
Each round.
Yeah, I get it. But if I can't match, I cannot afford to lose a single prestige.
So all I got to do is draw. Yeah.
Right, and then it comes down to the luck of the draw, and that I can't. So how can I do this only using 1 prestige? And I don't see a way.
Why couldn't you just trade?
I can trade. Right? That drops me to 1.
Trading doesn't drop you.
Oh, trade. Because
Yeah.
I have no resources.
Well, so like get a bunch of resources and then trade.
Yeah, but the problem is, sure, okay. Using that logic, I've already worked my way to that. That would get me 10 wood.
Yeah.
Okay? So 10 wood currently is 5. So I'd be able to do 2 trades. Sure, right?
Well, 1, because the price will go up.
Well, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it's going to go up. So 5 wood. But then what? What does that get me? So maybe it gives me 4 silver.
Right.
So 4 silver has to be, I have to be able to get more prestige. And then,
Are you here?
Yeah, if that's what we're talking
the
about.
wine is not quite enough. Right?
It's 1 less than what I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you could get 5 down in Egypt, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the key still is being able to break up that to 2 or less to avoid fights, right?
Yeah.
No, if Ken passes right now, he would lose. Or he wouldn't.
If I pass right now, I wouldn't lose.
But the question is, I might. Yeah, if you were to pass, I think I would lose. I think
might.
You're right.
You might. I'm not so sure. You have more population than I have.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, but you'd have to lose a bunch of it.
Yeah. And then you would win based on prestige. I actually think he's right. You know what? I'm going to stick with what I did. That's fine.
Okay. All right.
So it's going to be
3 and 3.
Yep. 3 grapes and 3 wheat.
Yeah.
There.
And then?
So that was that. And then there's this. And I have to move 2 down to Athens.
You have to move 2 down to Athens.
It avoids a fight. And it allows me to possibly exploit Athens for free.
I hear that logic.
It might not. This might not work, but there, boom, done. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, being this, I am terrible at managing prestige in this game.
I mean, I don't think anybody's ever played this game who's good at it. It's very hard.
It is. I did mention in the tweets it's a very tight resource
Yeah.
driven game. Euro.
So, yeah. So I don't know if I pass now that you have 3 grain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Minus 3, 6.
6. And
So
then
you probably throw away the 3 that have 2 on. 2
there,
on.
there, and there.
Yeah.
And
I, meanwhile, pay this down to 2. Right? Because you can pay prestige instead.
and then I have to. And then I have no way of getting prestige.
That's not true. You do have a way of getting prestige.
If I have no wheat,
Oh, you can't move right now.
I can't. I would have a point, and you would have 2 points, and you would win.
So then it's the right thing to do.
It clearly is.
I shall pass.
Okay. Okay. So, game's not over yet, though.
No.
I have no prestige. I can't move. What can I do?
Spend grapes for things.
Yeah. Which I don't think actually 5 grapes.
So
I
you
need
can,
6.
you do have 2 guys here.
Right,
You can
I
get
can.
2 guys worth of stuff there.
Fair. All right. So we will.
Yep.
So I lose a grape. A moment. That would be 3. Yeah, I will lose a grape.
Yep.
There.
Get 3 grapes.
Right. 1, 2, 3. That's
Yep.
7.
Yep.
Another action. Drop that to 6.
Trade.
I will trade.
So now I think you do win.
I might. There, which is 5 wheat. To there.
And all the grapes.
In all the grapes, right. And so I'm done. So I pass.
I think you win.
So, then we would go into... Now, we're going to go through a battle regardless, just to show folks, because
Fair
we
enough.
haven't had a battle.
Fair enough.
But we'll finish this. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So you got to lose 1.
Done.
Okay.
Okay.
I have to feed with prestige, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm there. Isn't that how it works?
Hold on. Let me... We haven't had this, so a moment. Okay. By the way, projects happen first, but there were none.
Yes.
Food. You must spend wheat. They must make up the difference with the same amount of prestige or by giving up Polis.
Which is, it's same. Because it's a point or a point.
I don't think it is. Because, oh, it's population stuff. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we go...
You spent all your grain, right?
Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry. We go into growth, which in Megalopolis, which does happen still at the end of the game.
And you get 1.
And I would get 1
Yep.
because of that.
Yeah.
Then we go into final scoring. So that's actually a really interesting...
Yeah,
that's
you
kind
win.
of a clever...
You win. I didn't even... You'll win by 3 or 4 points, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, well... total number of population they have on all the Polis cards. So...
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Their current prestige.
2. So I have 8.
So I have 6. I have 7. Right?
No.
Wait, no. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Yep.
And
1 more.
that, which I end at 10.
10 to 8.
Oh, wow. So I did.
Yeah.
So I do win.
So I just didn't think through that correctly.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to...
Yeah.
It's kind of a crappy way to win, but...
I decided to try it.
Yeah, no, I think it's interesting, right? All right, so now, hey, good game, either way.
game.
And interesting, keep you out of Sicily, and you were still in a dominant position.
I was. I think if I definitely could have pushed by. What I would have done maybe is as a move, gone here.
I figured. Yeah.
Kept you from trading.
Yep.
Right, and then moved troops in here and started doing that.
Yeah.
Right, because this is the one province where it's a big net positive to siege, because there's 4 of these available, and you don't have to move troops to get to it.
Right.
Right.
Oh, because there's multiple Polis.
There's multiple Polis in.
And over here, but again, that's a lot easier for Sparta. I would argue that you actually should have won this game. Like, there's no doubt if you'd played
Gave it a try,
there.
but
right, yeah,
but decided to try something new. So,
yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and go through a battle, though.
Yeah.
So let's say, argument's sake, that you did decide to go for Sicily.
Okay.
Okay, you move a troop over, or a galley,
Sicily.
and then you move over, whatever. Boom, it's the end of your turns.
Right.
We check. Oh, there's an area that has 8.
At least 8. Yep.
Okay. So, how this works now is a good time to finally talk about these damn cards that have been there forever. Is battle cards. You're gonna be dealt 1 card. By the way, is that in focus?
It's a little blurry.
They were focused. That's
there
better.
it is.
All right. Land battle, sea battle. Whatever is how it works. You're going to be dealt 1 card per troop, whether it's a galley or hoplite out there. So in our case, it'd be 4 and 4. So let's say dealt that. If it's sea battle,
I hope you would not be dealt that. That's bad news for me.
Yeah, for you, right? Yeah, but these are just examples. These are 2 special cards, of which there are only 1 in the entire deck, and then there are multiples of each of these. And those multiples are broken down right here, okay, to show you. There are 8 phalanx, 3 of which are value 2, and 1 of which is value 1, or I'm sorry, 5 of which is value 1.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Anyway, first off, I can't think of the words off the top of my head. I drew a total blank.
Defender.
Yeah, so if it's a land battle, Sparta attacks first.
That's right.
Advantage Sparta.
No matter who caused it.
Right.
Sparta attacks first.
And if it's a sea battle, then Athens.
So even though I moved in here,
yes.
So I'm sort of the aggressor.
Right.
Athens has the advantage on the seas always, so always attacks first. Yep.
So what that means is the attacker, whoever, again, in that round of attacking, will play 2 cards.
Yep.
Okay. They have formations and maneuvers.
Yep.
Okay. So formation essentially is what that is, which is, there are 8 phalanx cards, right, in the deck. And the maneuver, let's just call it the value.
Yeah,
for
that's
all intents and purposes, okay? And this also shows the breakdown of where that is, what it showed. Okay. So let's say I played those 2, okay? Then Ken has his hand of some number of cards and then must play another card. First things first, he wants to match the phalanx or the formation of what it is.
Match the formation and the maneuver if I can.
In a perfect world, or be higher than the maneuver.
That's right.
The formation, if he does not match the formation, he loses a unit and the attacker gains a prestige. He doesn't lose prestige, I just gain the prestige.
That's right.
Okay? If he does play the same formation, so let's say he played that card. So I played a 2 phalanx, he played a 1 phalanx. He does not lose any units, but I'm going to gain the prestige difference.
Yeah.
If it's positive on my side. So in this case, I would gain a prestige. He still would not lose any. So after we have played those 2 cards, so I play them both face up. And then, and to be clear, hold on one second. Yeah. Play them both at the same time, essentially. Turn them face up. And then after it's resolved, discard those. And then we switch roles, attacker and defender. And then you draw back up to your hand size based on number of troops that you have left in the battle.
Well, so the attacker always, after being the attacker, the attacker always draws 2.
Yes.
And the defender draws up to their troop size.
That is true.
Do you want to just play,
Yeah, there you go. I think that works.
Just to demonstrate it?
we need to shuffle
Did you talk about the 2 special cards?
I didn't.
So one of them, the Salt Pinks.
Yeah.
You can play it as either an attacker or a defender.
And it costs a
It
prestige.
costs a prestige to play it.
Correct.
But as the attacker, it cannot be matched and will automatically
Cost the troop.
cost a troop. And then there is a wild card defender.
Yep.
It has a 0 maneuver value, but it will match any formation. So it'll keep you from losing
Troops.
a unit, but you probably will lose prestige. All right, so Edward here is the attacker.
Right, because
So he's going to play
naval
first.
battle.
Yep.
Okay. So naval side.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, did you say that like as long as you have prestige to spend, the defender can refuse battle?
Oh yeah.
They
So at this point,
they lose.
yeah, they okay. At this point, before you draw your cards,
Right,
the defender could say, "No, I'm going to bug out." If you do, you lose a prestige.
and the attacker gains a prestige.
Yes, and
Yeah.
that's it. And,
Yeah.
and they stay there.
Yep.
They don't go anywhere because
you-
then at the end of that player's turn,
They would fight again if you. do
if
something
I
about it.
haven't done if I haven't
Exactly.
moved right
Yep.
exactly. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to play a Byreme
Yep.
of 1 value and a 0 value Byreme.
Okay. Strong play.
There are only 5 of those cards in
Right.
the whole deck.
That's right. So I can match one. So I'll match the one that has the maneuver value.
Okay, so that's a wash. That goes
Cannot
away.
match the other one.
Okay.
And so with this one, I'm going to play a 0 maneuver card.
Okay.
Because at least I don't lose a high maneuver value card.
Right. So now he did not match. He would lose,
Lose
troop,
a troop.
and that goes back to the
Yep.
supply.
You gain a prestige.
I do.
And now we go to the next round.
Okay,
So
these wipe.
these wipe, they're discarded.
Okay, so here
And
we'll
one
just,
of the timers, I mean, it's possible actually to run through the whole deck.
it is.
And if both guys have at least two, then
Battles keep going.
Until the deck runs out.
Correct.
Yeah.
So now I will draw 2 because I was the attacker
I will draw 1.
because he only has.
Yeah. Yep, that's.
All right. So now you may play 2 cards.
Yep.
In fact, you must.
So I
Dimitri, I did say I secretly wanted Edward to win. That's funny.
will do that.
Okay, so that's a trireme. Oh, they are triremes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, well, I will match and match, but he gains a prestige,
gain a prestige.
because of the difference in
Exactly.
that number right there.
Yep. So Edward then draws up to 4 because
So-
that's his troop size.
So 1, 2,
and I draw 2 cards because I was the attacker.
There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, so I will play the Salt Pinks, so I will
Right.
lose one.
I'm
and
definitely going to lose a troop here.
right, and I will go a Antorterra Trireme.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
Prius,
going
I guess,
to
technically.
match what I can match.
Now, note that he played, you know what? We probably ought to be doing this so y'all can see this better. Bring these back down a little bit.
Yeah, I played a 2.
There. He played a 2, I played a 1. He doesn't gain anything.
Not as a defender.
But he just, that's the same as a 1.
Yep.
Okay? And then this one, obviously,
This one, that one's not matchable.
but it's a -1, so I'm never going to
Right.
gain anything.
So I'm
but
gonna
he's
lose a
going to
guy.
lose a troop.
Yep.
There you go.
So,
Those go away.
right. So, attacker always draws 2. I draw up to my troop size.
Which is
Yep.
2.
Oh, no, I have one already. So,
Oh, okay. And here, keep playing them right here in Ionia.
Yep.
Okay.
And so, hopefully I can at least take a couple with me here.
There we go. There we
There.
go. All right. So, Byremes. Okay.
I believe they're the last 2 remaining Byremes.
Okay. Fair enough. Well,
Matching with the Miss
Miss the Forest. Yeah. So that's an automatic. Just it matches, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I don't think you were right. So I will play one. So I would lose a troop, but he gains nothing else.
That's right.
So I would lose that.
Yep.
And we keep going.
So I get 2 cards because I was the attacker.
And I would get 1 card because that. Now, these are the cards that are left. This is either the end of the battle or if any player is below 2.
Exactly.
And I'm the attacker this time.
Yep.
Oops.
You can see why, though, that Alcibiades card is so powerful, because if I had played it here, and I could draw up to 5...
Oh, God, that would be a massive advantage.
Yeah.
I want you to lose a troop, so which direction, based on what we've played, there's a good chance... Yeah, screw it. So I will go there and there.
Yeah. And so I have to play both of the ones I have. That one matches. That one does not.
All right. So he would lose a troop, or
So
I would gain a prestige.
You...
No, yeah, because you didn't match.
Right.
And you would lose a prestige, and you would lose a unit.
I don't lose a prestige. I just lose a unit.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
So now that would be the end of the battle.
Yep.
Now, here's what happens at this point. Well, obviously, end of the battle, we have thinned things out.
Yeah.
The entire deck, regardless of how many you use, would get shuffled for the next battle whenever that takes place.
Yep.
And that's battle.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, and you can sort of see that, like, how being the attacker is advantageous first.
Yeah.
And also having more troops. Like a 5 versus 3
Is
in
a
round 5
huge
is
advantage.
not a good idea for the
Yeah.
defender.
Yeah.
Which is why Edward was so nervous about leaving 4 troops in here. So
Yep.
there you go.
There you go. So, what do you think of Polis?
Yeah, I mean, four games in, still learning a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I think
like, mechanically, we're not.
no, the
Yeah.
rules are totally
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
the way. There's just a lot of decision space.
Yep.
You know, that idea of like, what if I just pass here? I think is a totally valid one.
Yes.
Right? And
Passing early, like in forcing your opponent to waste resources for that.
yeah. So, and you did a different version of it at the end of the
Second round.
At the end of the second
I was
round.
trying to be all sneaky about it,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
didn't work,
I had thought about it, so I knew I would have just enough resources to make it work. But like, the resources, as you guys can see, are super duper tight.
Yep.
I think this is a pretty classic way for this to play out. I had a ton of hoplites on the board.
Yep.
You
I
had-
dominated the seas.
You dominated the seas enough,
Yes.
right? And Sparta always has to decide whether they are going to spend enough wood to keep up with Athens.
But if they
And
do,
put
then
themselves in the position to lose prestige
Battles.
in battles.
exactly
Right?
and that is a huge deal, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's a hard decision. This time I kind of chose to do it as little as possible.
Yeah, because last game you were building way more
Yeah.
galleys.
I think it was
And
the
when
point
you,
at which I had maybe 8
yeah,
galleys on the board.
And then I realized, oh, I could just
You
force
just fight.
battles.
Well, what actually happened is we drew that card.
Yeah.
Where there's a card that lets you fight
An
with
event.
7 instead of 8 in round 2, and so when that happened, it sort of like it opened up a lot of stuff, including opening up ways for me to really punch you in the teeth
On land, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think the resource management piece of it is really interesting. The prestige commodity is so hard to manage well.
I've yet to figure out how.
Yeah, I mean that last game, starting out with 8 prestige, I was in a position to do a lot of pretty cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so
But yeah, hovering in this area just sucks.
well, of course you start here, right? You start at 3,
Yeah.
and you got to move.
Yeah.
So,
And for use the English one right here. So those 4 things all cost prestige.
Yeah.
Move, laying siege, and collecting tribute,
Yeah.
aka,
all the things you want to do.
yeah, it's just
Basically, all the things you want to do.
Yeah.
So in a game where battle is offered a lot, prestige is actually not that big of a deal.
because you can both sides can get
tend to net prestige in a battle, even if one side loses. right?
However, you have to have enough prestige to get to that point, right?
Yes.
You have to withstand losing to be able to gain it back, potentially. Right.
That's right. So,
depending on the card draw.
I actually think this style makes more strategic sense. Don't offer battle where you're at a disadvantage.
I mean,
Which means not a lot of fighting. But it does mean in this last round, Athens has to figure out what to do with all those red dots on the board.
Yep.
And how to hang on to any territories at all.
Yeah.
Tricky.
It is. This is in no way a war game. It's a resource management game at its core. It really, really is.
But it's a resource. It's a 2-player, highly aggressive. Resource management game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a net zero, right? Because it's in a lot of ways it is.
Right.
And so I don't mind it being highly aggressive because nobody feels picked on because it's you got to, right? The more I play it, the more I want to play it more.
Yeah. By the way, I think I read online that like a good final score is in the 20s.
Somebody's gonna have to teach me.
So we didn't do that.
No.
I mean, maybe I could have got 220 if I had spent a lot of time in prestige building up population and getting just enough.
Yeah.
But it wasn't going to be easy.
It's it's a very Euro style game where you design a war game that has no war, right? And so I probably have at most 8 games of this under my belt between the original version and this. But the original version, so far in the past, for my experience, that might as well be non-existent.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did a fair bit of reading on this, and there are people that talk about having 100+ games under their belt.
Yep.
Why I'm talking about that will make sense. I'll talk about some of the differences now between the quote-unquote first edition and this edition. First off, this game's 1 round shorter. It used to be stacking limits of 3, 4, 5, 5.
Yeah.
So that 4th round got eliminated. There was an oil resource that got eliminated.
Okay.
And
you don't need it for tanks or anything.
Yeah, right. Oh, no, olive oil.
I assumed.
Yeah. Fair. And a number of I remember that game being so hard to be able to feed your people. This didn't feel as, we never starved.
Still pretty hard.
But it was harder.
Yeah, but I mean, right. It's hard. I believe you that it was harder, but I spent the entire second round figuring out how to get exactly 6 grain.
But the general feeling
is that this is a little looser.
Looser for resource manipulation.
Yeah.
Tighter as an overall game.
Interesting.
Because if you make mistakes, assuming experienced players, I'm guessing.
Sure.
You have less time to recover from those mistakes because you have one less round in which to do so. Right? So people I've read that have 100 or hundreds of games of experience say if you don't have the first edition, there's no reason to not get this version. Plus, the production quality is way better. The 3D boards.
Oh, the production of this is super duper nice.
Yeah, the double layer boards, the whole, there's nothing about this I would change. Other, where is it? Than doing a 8-sided or 12-sided die that has the
2 4s, 2 3s, 2 2s, and 2 1s. Yeah.
Because God, I hate a 4-sided.
4-sided die. Not satisfying. Not satisfying.
I hate it.
I agree.
So a number of other things have changed, like some of the balances between the numbers over here. And the other, I would say, big rule change that I noticed was if you lose a siege, putting a disc out that represents
getting a
+1.
Yeah.
That was actually a variant in the Mercury Games version that they brought, that I think somebody from BGG introduced.
Okay.
And they brought it into this, and I think it's a net positive across the board because, I mean, for instance, That's just, I mean...
Good luck. You're just taking a chance over and over again.
Yeah, a 25% chance, and you can't modify it?
Right.
Like, you can't increase that? You can't fix that?
Yeah.
That just sucks. That wouldn't feel good.
Right.
So the +1, okay, I failed, but now at least next time it's 50%.
Right.
Or 3/4 if it's a 3 or whatever, right?
I mean, you want enough chance with the sieges to give you incentive to use your Proxenos.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, oh yeah, to force civil war. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
But you don't want it to be a situation where you just like might bang your head on against the wall over and over again. And
That doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Nothing about that is, would you want to do that? Yeah.
Right. So the other miracle about this game is that, like, I mean, this was probably the longest game that you and I have played.
Oh yeah, we played 2 games in 2 hours on Sunday.
This game can definitely be played in an hour with experienced players, and I think your absolute max is a little bit more than 2 hours.
Absolute max, probably closer to 90 minutes, realistic, right? Unless you really want to study it. Again, going back to those experienced players, basically what they said is add 15 minutes for each round. First round's 15 minutes, second round's 30 minutes, third round maybe 45 minutes. So that's an hour and a half.
Yeah, makes
Right.
sense. Makes sense.
If it doesn't end early, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how battles go and how walking that razor's edge on prestige the players are, especially the Athenian player, right?
Yeah. So I like that because, you know, thinking about a game like Twilight Struggle, which I love that game. It is potentially twice as long as this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can definitely play 4-hour games of that.
Right.
And I think this gives you a lot of the same feel.
Completely different game, but
Totally different game, but
the
sense of sort of like struggle, desperation,
yes,
trying to figure out how to deal with bad situations.
lemonade out of lemons,
Yeah.
right?
And I think like the sort of like, you know, tight contest of two empires struggling against each other. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think across the board this is great. Like it's frustrating, but in a way that people like us that enjoy these type of games enjoy that frustration, and you want to figure out what can I do to get better?
Yeah.
What can I do without it being a lifestyle type game, right? And I think this is online somewhere, I think as well. To be able to, like, whether it's Board Game Arena or something like that. I
think it absolutely can be a lifestyle game.
Oh, it could be, but it doesn't have to be, right?
I think if you went away and played this 50 more times and then I had played it 0 and we played again, I'd be in trouble.
Yeah. So I have no doubt that there is going to be, like, same goes with any of those, honestly, any 2-player conflict game. That's going to be the case.
Any 2-player low chance conflict game, right?
So Twilight Struggle, I'm thinking, stuff like
Exactly.
that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I let's put it this way. If I didn't have a copy, I'd want a copy.
Yeah, there's a lot here. It's a good game.
Yeah, it really is. And the variations in the events, and none of the events feel like they give both sides something. Or it might not be purely even as to what you get, but it's fair.
Yeah, so I think you're right. Like, that event was slightly better for me in the first round.
Yeah.
This event is slightly better for you.
Right.
But it gives me some control.
Yep.
You give that, you have one battle where you're like, yay, and then I can just hold the card for the rest of the time.
Yeah, and not use it maybe, or use it in a naval battle.
Wait till a situation where you're like way down on prestige, decide to use it as a way to try to like
bludgeon
put the nail in the coffin. Yep. So yeah, so it's interesting how the events work. Yeah, I think you're always sort of like halfway hoping for a no event, you know?
Depending on your situation.
Yeah.
And they're not always positive, I don't think.
Well, if you're hoping for the event to save you,
you're probably you may have made mistakes.
You may have made some mistakes. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
All right, there you go. That is Polis. So definitely recommend checking it out. I'm sad that it got lost in the shuffle of things. So I'm glad that we finally got it.
Released in 20?
Oh God. I might have to look that up now. Give me a second. I will.
I mean, if it was released in 20, it does sort of make sense why it might have got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, 2020. So there you go.
Yeah.
In fact, I actually was handed this copy, I think, at Gamma, which was
your last trade show before.
Well, not like literally when things were falling apart.
March 8th, 2020 or something.
Yeah, we were there, and so that kind of. But so big thanks to Ken first off for doing this.
Great.
Big thanks to all y'all out there that watch. Certainly appreciate it, and to Matt over at Devir Games for providing the review copy. And sorry it took us so long, but thanks for being patient, Matt. Certainly appreciate that. If y'all like it, give it a thumb. Consider subscribing, supporting the show. It helps the channel. Patreon.com/HCHQ. If you are a patron, we'll be back tomorrow night because we're going to play a patron-only game of Deal with the Devil, which I am really intrigued by.
Cool.
So,
have you guys actually got to play in yet?
Nope.
Oh,
that'll be the first one. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
So, and then we have podcast recording later on this week with Liz Davidson of Beyond Solitaire. So looking forward to that. I'm Edward.
I'm Ken.
That was fun.
It was great.
That was good. All right, y'all have a good night. Take care. Bye, everybody. I guess I won, but you
won.
It didn't feel like.
Didn't feel like a win?
It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
I didn't. Hey, that's all right.
Yeah,
but
win's a win.
Post don't ask how, they ask how many, right?
That's right. Just got to post that W.